Daniel.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to say before?
Like a prayer?
What up? 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 What up?
You are listening to What Up Eugene. I, as always, every single other week am your co-host. I'm a regular host. Lars Schweighauser, joined by my co-host. That means he's lower than me.
I am the new host of What Up Eugene.
Daniel. Oh, are you? Did we trade spots?
Yep.
Well, do the show then.
I'm the third host.
Oh, hold on.
Let me tell you about the mics.
Let our host introduce you.
I'm third string.
Yep. But funny, she should mention third string because we didn't mention Cass has played the bass.
We also didn't mention that Cass is on.
A bass was 4.
I don't understand. Listen, I don't know what a guitar is.
But okay, that's fine.
Every acid dealer gets caught eventually.
True.
That's the string. How do you remember the string names?
Wow, that's
Or something like that.
no, that's
I
not
had
right
more
because there's a B in
PC.
there. There's
Yeah.
a B in there.
Every boy. Wait. Everybody does.
Every acid dealer gets blown eventually. Caught doesn't work.
I like
Busted.
that.
It's busted. It's busted. Yeah.
When I took music stuff, I was younger and in school, and it was PC. It wasn't fun like that one.
No.
We are today on What Up Eugene. We're talking to Kassidy. Now, Kassidy, this is exciting because this is, speaking of, we were talking about threes earlier for some reason.
Uh-huh.
This is technically your third episode.
Yeah.
Now, of course, before it was the Brett.
Yes.
I almost said Brent, but I
Brett.
didn't because I just went Brent Bradley in my head, and I was
totally,
like, not that one.
It's a common mistake.
So we had Brett on, but Kassidy was here as well. And of course, then Kassidy was on a different episode. And if you've listened on SoundCloud, Kassidy's the person who comments, and it doesn't make any sense.
That's not true.
No, it's great.
I have very poignant comments. I think about them.
She participates in the trivia through her comments.
It
I
does.
think about my comment and I scroll back to the second where it would make the most relevant sense, and then type it in and I press enter.
No, I always, I for the longest time, because your username is completely random.
Well,
like,
it's what my band name was.
oh,
long
that's
ago.
pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Are we?
Yes.
Oh,
but I always see these comments, and I'm like, did some random old lady find us on SoundCloud, and this is the show she
Yes, she
listens
did.
to? No, Kassidy, I would say #1 fan.
Yeah.
Been on the show 3 times, so that's the most. Listens to the show, which is ridiculous. Don't recommend.
I love how you're shaming me for listening to your podcast. I could just not do it too.
You gotta keep people in line, Kassidy. Well, oh, that's nice. We had the lights off, but then Dan did his cell phone
I
as a
like
light.
it.
It's gonna eat my batteries though, so it's going
Ooh,
off.
what about if you put
Oh, I've got
it under
mine.
this?
Oh,
Okay, so this is
That's
awful
the
for the
light.
audience
pretty
at home.
cool.
Let's move into
Look, now it's all glow.
what's our first segment here. Do that because I don't need the battery.
It is. Oh, great! It
Cell
is
phone
the.
flashlight.
It's the drinky one.
Oh, is it? Hold on.
Tricky one.
I'll press a button.
The peer-reviewed beer review.
Today we're reviewing. Oh my God, I lost my can. We're reviewing. This is super exciting. Reverend Nat's Hard Cider. Now, what I like about this is that it's currently on sale at Market of Choice, and by the time this episode airs, it'll be off sale because the sale changes on Friday, which is the earliest day you'd be listening to this.
I didn't know that. That's a hot tip. That's
Yeah.
a hot Eugene tip.
So, Reverend Nat's Hard Cider, we reviewed before the regular version, and it got really high ratings, and it's one of the best. The only problem is that it's a tall bottle. It's not quite a 22. Would you call it like an 18-ounce bottle?
It's 500 milliliters.
Okay, perfect. But that is $5.99, and then for the flavors, it's $6.99. It's good. It's worth it, but that's a lot for a cider. This is a 6-pack of the cans, so 12 ounces, but it's $10.50 for it, so it's a lot cheaper. Expensive for a 12-pack or 6-pack of cans, but way cheaper for this cider.
For this particular
It's a
cider.
steal.
And it's good cider, and this is Reverend Nat's Hard Cider Sacrilege Sour Cherry.
Well, I've got a hard something for the Rev Nats.
Me too.
It's
I'm a
good.
big fan.
It's good cider.
I really like it a lot.
There was a lot of describing the cider before the show started. Do you guys remember any of that?
I was saying that I think it would taste good as a float because it reminds me of like cherry pie.
Ooh,
Yeah, for sure.
cherry
I
and
usually
vanilla.
do that a la mode. I think that would be interesting and yummy. But I also I'm not a huge candy fan, but I like cherry flavored, like Jolly Rancher cherry is like my favorite. And
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
something about this that reminds me of that, like a natural take on
Well-
a cherry Jolly Rancher, I guess. I don't know.
The only other cherry cider I've had was the Two Towns one. It cherried away, and it took me a fucking 2 weeks to find
I
it.
don't know if I've had that.
I don't recommend.
Oh, it's so good. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't liked any of the Two Towns ciders I've had yet, but this
Right.
one, it didn't taste bad. It just had almost no flavor. It was cherry and rose, and really all you could taste was like a mild bit of rose. And
Interesting. Have you guys ever been to Ciderlicious?
I haven't.
On Friendly Street?
What?
What?
I've never even heard of
We
this.
should go.
is it
It's
a tap
awesome.
house?
No, it's like a little cart, like a food cart, but it's cider.
Oh.
And they have like outdoor seating that's covered. It's on Friendly Street.
I have
you
heard
seen
this.
it?
I have heard of this.
So we
Let's
went
go.
there. They had the habanero, peach, strawberry. They had like a ginger cider that was awesome that I had.
Do they make their own, or what are
No,
you
they
saying?
just have like from every.
It's
It's
just ciders on
basically
tap.
like the place the tasting thing we went to. They just have a ton on tap.
So
And
that's
then-
like a tap house or like a
yeah,
growler
and then,
station, right?
kind of. And then on Thursdays they do like drain the keg, I think. And so like a lot of their stock is half off because they're trying to like get ready for the
Oh, that's
weekend to
cool.
switch it over.
I had it happen at Beerside once that they were emptying out something and they gave us all like a little bit free, and I was like, cool.
it was awesome. So I don't
gross
know if
beer,
you could
but
like do your podcast from there in the tent or something.
You know,
that would be
awesome.
cool.
We can't. It's not a portable setup. We got a comment on Instagram months ago, and someone was like, "You should go do your podcast on the Saturday market," and it was like, well, one, I mean, it's a desktop computer we record on.
Right.
Not like we need a lot of power to run all this stuff, and also, two, the Saturday market is so loud; it
Yeah,
would be
it's true.
obnoxious to listen
It's a
to.
bustling market.
What about? Well, I guess you could do the boom mic and the little. What's that thing I bought?
Oh,
I mean, I have a
field recorder.
yeah,
I have.
field recorder.
I have an adapter to record to a cell phone too. It records like a regular XLR to
That's cool.
TRRS. Yeah, it's got phantom power.
I don't know. It might be worth trying out. It might be
But
cool to do.
I mean, yeah, without like proper wind sleeve.
Right. A dead cat.
And the
as
other
they
thing is,
say.
yeah, the other thing is, so on my phone I can only record one input. If I had one of those little Tascam, those 2 input things, but those are like $300.
Dead cat.
So you'd have to like hand each other the mic back and forth. It
Right.
might be cool to do like a 5-minute segment.
You can do a Q&A panel for a bunch of people who don't know who
Yeah.
you are.
Well, we could cut something into a podcast. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
hey, speaking of, you were saying that cart has a bunch of different ciders.
Mm-hmm.
Reverend Nat actually makes several different ciders,
Mm-hmm.
but none of them ever make it to Eugene. They're all in Portland because that's where they're based. And they have the habanero. They have like very.
Field trip.
He's
Speaking
very
of the-
experimental.
Oh,
the Reverend.
5%. I was wondering if
Oh,
we
so
said
that's
that.
a person?
Yeah, he calls himself Reverend Nat. I think he's
ordained?
ordained, but it's not that he's religious, but he's religious about his cider.
Well, Brett's ordained.
Oh, sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can
You
see
can
that.
just get
just
it
do it
done
online.
online and you
Yeah.
print it out.
You can get
funny.
ordained in the Church of Google, which is
And speaking of having different things, Reverend Nats will be at the KLCC Brewfest.
So excited.
when is that? Dan?
And
That's
we'll-
February 9th and 10th.
And we'll
Okay.
be there too.
Yeah, it's a good time. Lars, I keep trying to convince you to go.
You should go.
I am tentative about maybe attending, but I never.
What if
don't
I
remember
pay
stuff.
for you? Will you go if I pay
Oh
for
yes, because Dan told me it was like $15, and I was
Oh,
like,
I'll pay for
"Fuck
you."
that." Okay, there we go.
It's a better deal than it sounds.
you? It's really... Dude,
I
like
know,
the
but
last
it's
one we
free
went
now.
to, what was what other one called that we went to?
That was the Mackenzie Beer and
I
Cider
had
Festival.
to stop. And they give you tickets,
Mm-hmm.
and was like one ticket for a bag of popcorn. I was using most of my tickets for popcorn because I was so wasted.
Oh, nice.
And you get a cute little cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
you get to keep.
So, having listened to the show, you may have known that we have a new format for a lot of stuff. The beer review is one because we retired the blog officially just because it was a lot of work for Dan.
What?
It's true. It's still there. We're just not doing new posts.
I'm
so.
really sad about that.
R.I.P.
Well, Mark Davis came on and he was like, "You guys have a lot of different links," and it was true. We had a different SoundCloud, a different email, 2 different Tumblrs, and an Instagram.
That's part of the...
So all the links are consolidated. We have
Very
just the
nice.
What Up Eugene Tumblr, and there we post beer scores, but Dan doesn't do a graphic.
Okay.
So we're doing kind of a letter grade,
Mm-hmm.
and we're kind of combining it. We're all going to talk about how we feel spiritually about this beer,
Okay.
cider,
Oh, Jesus.
and the letter grade we get.
Well, in
What?
the true spirit of Reverend Nad.
Nad? It's Nad, not Nads. I'll be Reverend Nads. Take one more sip while I read the description
Okay.
by the Rev
And I'll
himself.
think about it.
He describes it, other profess to produce a cherry cider, but none begin with sour Granny Smith apples, unified with a superior Montgomery sour cherry, fermented with an English ale yeast, rounded out with a spot of pear juice, and completed with a touch of spiciness, precisely enough to make you and your vigor...
The pear. I
your
can
that
vigor
taste
is-
the
race,
pear.
etc.
That is so specific. He's like, none of them thought of this really weird combination.
No, he's a weird guy. I think
No,
he's
it's good.
He's like
I
a
do taste
redhead
the
guy with
pear.
like a long beard.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, maybe that's why I'm a big fan of the Rev. Although I gotta say,
Update: Dan's beard is not long.
Your kindred spirit. It could be if you tried.
when it
Well,
comes
it
to
could be.
ciders, I always prefer a simple apple over any gimmicky flavors.
Yeah, like a plain Granny Smith. I've been liking dry ciders a lot instead of sweet.
They had a rose cider at that Ciderlicious too. That
Oh,
was really good, and a pumpkin spice. And
Oh
I tried
my.
it, and I was like, "This
Was
is gonna
it?
be dumb," but it tasted so good.
It was. We
Yeah.
we did episode 8, which of course is the one with the bad audio because of the different mics. With Carlos, we did a pumpkin spice cider and a pumpkin
That's
spice
right,
beer.
I do remember that.
On the peer reviewed beer review, Dan called it autumn shit or fall shit. So what do you guys think? I think if we're doing a letter grade, I'd give this a solid A-. There's nothing I don't
Yeah,
like about it.
I really like
It's
it.
sour. I don't know if I could drink. Like I probably wouldn't buy a whole 6-pack, especially with regular, same price as the regular, and I like the
Yeah.
regular.
I
It's good.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
cut you off.
go for it.
I was gonna say I like. There's some things I drink that I like. Feel like I have to have a snack with, and this like has it has the bitter, the sweet, the cold, the. I guess that's just because it was in the fridge.
No, River
but-
Nat is all about the semi-sweet.
Right.
That's why
No,
I
I
like
know.
it.
Like I really, it's like kind of satisfying all of my requirements, and I don't need to like be snacking on something with it.
It fits in the palate really well.
I really like it. Yeah.
What do you think, Dan?
As a big fan of the original, I give that one a 5 out of 5. The apple.
Yeah.
I like this one, but comparing it to that, I give it a B+.
B plus.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Now I might give the original an A even, but I think that's fair. What's going on, Kassidy?
I was actually gonna say B plus too. That was
B
kind
plus?
of where I was thinking.
Okay,
But then
no.
after you said A minus, I was like, I could
Well-
go either way because I really like it too.
Maybe I went too high of A minus. I would only give it like 200 stars, but since we're done with that system,
I give
it
it
an
an
thank
E
God.
for effort.
well, let's call this a solid B plus. I would say
That sounds good to me.
on the whole, as a cider, I think it's definitely in the A category, as compared to the regular Reverend Nats, which we like better.
I give
or
that
Dan
one.
and I.
I give the original an A+ myself.
I think B plus is fair because it's not as good as that one. It's trying to do too much, which is fine if you care for a sour cherry flavor, but the original is so simple and so brilliant that it's like, why are you trying so hard?
We'll have to try it.
High recommend.
I agree. I'm really enjoying this. It could use more cherry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
Definitely, if I tried this, I wouldn't necessarily say cherry right away. I can taste it just because it's on the label, but
Hey, $10.49 plus the deposit of 60 cents.
right.
Dan,
I would do it.
question.
Yeah.
Is
And
our
you
trivia
did.
round, is it a pretty quick round today? Do you think we can, we got some time. We got 15 minutes in this round. Do you think so?
Can
Do you
we?
want to go to trivia?
Can
We're
we
gonna
possibly
already
do that?
trivia? My
Yeah,
goodness.
we're gonna start with trivia because
Okay.
there's a couple reasons. So we have music which we actually had a couple of weeks ago, but wasn't actually shared with me. That Kassidy wrote as
Oh,
trivia
no.
music.
Are we really?
Yeah, we're gonna use it. So we're gonna use Kassidy's trivia music. And what's interesting is that we had her on for an entire episode and then a different episode, and I never talked to her about music because Dan didn't tell me our guest was a musician,
Yeah, it's-
which he often does.
It's a painful
So
subject.
after we listen to this great music and do this great round, we're gonna talk about music with
Great
Kassidy.
music. Let me just.
No, I heard
say,
it already. It's great.
I did it on an iPad just in GarageBand real quick. It's
Yeah,
not
lots
anything
of great stuff has
special.
been in GarageBand.
Cass, the stuff you whip out
I'm
on
just
makeshift
saying.
keyboards
I'm
is
just
amazing.
Saying.
Dude, when I learned how to compose, it was all in GarageBand,
Yeah,
and
that's where I
a lot of that
started
stuff.
too.
I mean, obviously those free sounds don't sound great, but you can make the strings sound really good if you fuck around with dynamics for a little bit. Like,
Especially with the new GarageBand, it's actually really awesome. You can do like chords as strings, and like if you move your finger, it like kind of builds and stuff.
Oh,
It's really,
yeah.
really cool.
That's super
how
cool.
it reacts to it. But
so let's I'm gonna hit a couple different buttons here because what segment are we in? Is it this one?
Okay Noodle, find me a restaurant in Eugene, Oregon.
Okay. I am finding you restaurants in Eugene, Oregon.
Thanks.
Dan, tell me to hit the thing that you tell me to hit.
Press that button.
play that button.
Play that button.
We We had some technical difficulties there. Someone sent me an M4A, which Windows doesn't support by default. I'll convert it in post.
Whatever.
We're hearing the music we've been using, but you might be hearing Kassidy's music.
It's so peppy compared to
You
what we're
wouldn't
hearing.
know either way.
This
What
song-
if they heard episode 18 and 19?
That's true, I guess.
And they were like, hey, this is different.
Okay.
Daniel.
That's fair.
This song sounds like we're in a cave and we have to solve a puzzle.
Yeah,
that's what game show
I
music
feel like
is
it's a
like.
water level, and I'm scared.
But what the audience is hearing right now is more like, oh, this is a quizzical question. Ooh.
Hey, Daniel,
Physical.
can I, do you know what's special about this?
No?
For the first time in season 2, which there's going to be a lot of firsts because we're only 3 episodes in.
Okay.
For the first time in season 2, we are using the game Okay Noodle. For all the shit that didn't come back, Okay Noodle came back.
We had the Eugene Trivia Prize Bucket Challenge. We had Michigan or Oregon, aka Kalamazoo or
Oh,
Eugene.
that's right. I forgot. That was technically a different thing.
That was a different thing.
That was fun. He actually researched that. That was kind of clever.
I did research. And I also do research for Okay Noodle, so...
I'm ready.
Now, Kassidy, I don't believe you've ever played Okay Noodle on the show.
I have not.
But I believe you are familiar with Okay Noodle.
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, we're not going to explain the rules then.
That's fine.
We don't need to. I'm gonna
Here's the deal,
I'm the
Kassidy.
only one that listens to it anyways, that I know how to play it.
Here's the deal. There are going to be 5 questions.
'Kay.
2 of them is going to get you a prize. 2 correct.
Okay.
3 will get you another prize.
'Kay.
4 will get you another one. 5 will get you another one. That, if you're doing the math, means if you get all 5 right, you can have 4 prizes.
4? Okay.
Oh, I didn't know it got so dramatic. There's
Yeah, this feels like a
like
haunted house all
Yeah.
of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
Luigi's
scared.
Mansion. Okay Noodle, what Dan does is he goes on the Google Maps
Wait,
descriptions.
were we not gonna just...
No, but the audience doesn't know. They don't actually
Okay.
listen.
Yeah, see?
That's a joke.
I know you listen to the podcast, but some
No
people
one else
out there
does.
Can
are
I
hearing...
explain it?
Yeah, go for it.
So Daniel looks up just the auto descriptors of different restaurants in Eugene, and then he's gonna rate them, and then I'm gonna try to guess what those restaurants are.
But they're specifically the Google Maps one because it's Okay Noodle, which is like Okay Google.
That-
Okay, Google.
That's where the
Yeah.
the pun
it's
comes
kind
into
of the
play.
It kind of sounds like the Siri thing that did it.
All right,
but-
we begin as soon as I crack my second cider.
Can you crack a can? Is that what you're doing?
Crack
really?
away.
Cassidy.
I'll do mine too.
Cassidy.
Wait, hold on. Someone give me a second cider.
You're not ready yet.
I will be.
Man up, big boy. Finish that.
Pull up your pants. Drink that nad.
Put on ya big
Nats?
boy britches.
Nads?
Every time someone tells me to chug on this show.
Okay, Cass.
What? ready.
Restaurant number 1.
Okay.
It is described as an array of Chinese comfort classics. Hold on. The way I started that off.
It sounded like there was going to be
So,
more.
here we go.
Is that it? That's the whole.
An array of Chinese comfort classics are supplied at this spacious, easygoing establishment.
That's it.
Okay. By the way, if you didn't know, you do get 1 lifeline.
Okay.
Not on this question though. I
Got
don't
it.
fucking know
So these aren't chains, right? These are local restaurants.
Local restaurants. Well, they could be local chains.
Yeah,
But
so-
I'm not going to pull a talk
Okay.
of time on you.
Lock
Don't
you
worry.
on.
Lock you on. Is that the final answer?
I'm gonna say yeah, because I can't think of anything else. Hell yeah!
Well done.
Got it.
Good job not reacting.
That place is really good. I
Good
like
job
it a
not
lot.
reacting to his thumbs up till I press the button.
I'm going to say,
I didn't see it.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to use my Mandarin.
Okay.
Share, hun.
Oh,
There you go.
she's
No. Why? I'm sorry. Do you think I also know Mandarin?
Domo arigato.
Oh. Muy bien.
Excuse me.
Cass,
Sonata.
you got 1. Ready
Okay.
for question number 2?
I am.
20% there.
Question number 2 is described as a laid-back pizza spot with a salad bar serving New York-style pies in huge slices or whole.
I think I know this one. I'm pretty sure because pizza spot for salad bar.
See if she can get it first.
Well, I will. No, I'm a lifeline, Dan.
You
But
are the
you said
lifeline.
it out loud.
I didn't even hear what he said.
I didn't say it. I said it's a pizza spot for salad bar. I didn't say the name.
Oh, I thought you said Papa's.
What you
Pizza.
called
No.
a pizza palace off the bar?
Pizza spot with a salad bar. You make me chug, then I slur, then you're mad at me for slurring.
I thought you said pizza
slices.
pasta. You want to reread?
Salad bar.
I'm gonna give you a reread.
Okay, please.
Laid back pizza spot with a salad bar serving New York style pies in a huge slices or whole.
Wait, slices. I don't think they sell the place I'm thinking of. I don't think they sell slices. But they have a salad bar. I can only think of one pizza place with a salad bar.
Yeah.
Although the salad bar is maybe not the most descriptive. Here's the deal. You If you want to use your lifeline, I'll tell you what my answer is. You don't have to guess it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it because I can't think of it.
My guess would be Roaring Rapids Pizza Company because they have the salad bar and the huge pizzas, but I don't think they do it by the slice. I can't remember if they do.
Yeah. Well, I was.
And
yeah.
also, by the way, their pizza is like eating glass. It's fucking
terrible,
gross.
I've
And it's
heard,
like
yeah.
$40 for a large
Yeah,
pizza.
but they have a carousel on the river.
They have a carousel on the river. Well,
That's
you
the
would think-
only draw.
You would
for
think the
me,
carousel in the river would be in the description, right?
right? Nope.
But they have a salad bar, and I've heard people talk about the salad bar
Weird.
before. So
So yeah, and I first thought of Mezzaluna, but they don't have a salad bar. You just
no, they do
order
salads. Yeah,
Um,
but I don't know if anywhere
Pizza
else.
Pipeline's just trash pizza that's cheap.
Yeah, but they deliver later than
They
anyone
do.
else.
Well, I like Pizza Pipeline.
If
Yeah.
you got the hungries, call the Pizza
Pizza
Pipeline.
Pipeline Hotline.
Hey, do you guys
Taste to your
Yeah,
door.
ba-da-ba-da-ba.
do you guys remember 3 slices and a soda for $3?
That was a good deal.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah.
good deal.
Now it's like last I heard it
was
was
my
$4.50, but it's probably like
That's
$6
still
now.
pretty good.
Little
I gotta
chubby
say.
10-year-old Daniel was stoked about
Oh my god, that was my lunch.
And new
Aw,
adult Daniel.
You weren't chubby.
New adult Daniel is sad that they don't have my chubby deal anymore.
Would you
You
know what?
were at least husky at best.
They did
If
call me
that.
Husky. They called me Husky.
When I volunteered at the Wow Hall, we'd go there sometimes, and they had a different thing on. It was like maybe Thursday, but Friday, Saturday on weekend nights after like 9 or 10 p.m. You could still get $1 slices or $1.50, but they
That's
were
awesome.
much larger slices.
Interesting.
So you'd get it was like a regular slice of pizza from anywhere else,
Yeah.
and you get like 2 or 3 of those, and that was
So
great.
we have World Pies, we have Pegasus,
Pegasus does salads, but it's not
but
a
they
salad
don't have
bar.
a salad bar. Does World Pies have a salad bar? I don't think I've ever been
Is
there.
World Pies is the new Cosmic, right? No, they don't have a salad bar.
Okay, I didn't think so. So I think I'm gonna go with your suggestion because I
Okay.
can't think of any other local place that has.
Our final answer, Dan.
Roaring
Roaring Rapids.
You twitched. That makes me think it's
Dan.
wrong.
No, I'm trying to set this
Dan.
up so you can't see when
Dan.
I'm telling if it's right or wrong.
Roaring
Okay.
Rapids Pizza
We're
Company.
gonna do Roaring Rapids.
You're
Final
gonna do
answer.
Roaring
We're
Rapids
just-
pizza?
Yes.
Well, guess what? You're fucking wrong. You're fucking wrong is what you are.
What is it?
Guys, I know it doesn't technically have a salad bar, but that's what it was described as. Mezzaluna.
But no,
God
fuck
damn it!
you! No, fuck you!
That's not
You know what?
okay.
No,
That's not
no.
okay.
That we're taking the
'Cause
point.
I said
We're
it.
taking the point.
That was my first
How about
choice.
this? Guys,
our point.
hey guys, consider this. Does Roaring Rapids have fucking New York style pizza?
Yeah, it's
No.
huge.
No, New York isn't huge. It's thin.
Let me say
Roaring
something.
Rapids is thin. It's
I
thin and
used the
huge.
Lifeline. That was his call. not mine.
Daniel.
I have plausible deniability
Daniel.
there.
I went to Roaring Rapids
Yeah, it's huge and thin.
last Christmas, and it is not huge or thin. It's shitty.
Yeah, but it's shitty because it's like eating glass because of how thin and sharp the crust is.
But
There's
I would
no bread at
believe
all.
they would describe themselves as that.
When was the last time you were at Roaring Rapids?
I don't know, like
See,
5 years ago. Because
I
the
was
pizza's
there-
So shit. Are you telling me their pizza's no longer thin?
Well, no, it's just shitty. It's like Little Caesars now.
So it's not because it was like glass before. It actually cut my mouth when I ate it.
I'm
Oh my
upset
God.
that I got that wrong because that was my first instinct.
Okay, we're taking the point not
No,
only
we're-
because of the
no, we're
salad
not.
bar, but also because they changed their pizza recipe.
Okay, whatever. Mezzaluna is delicious, and they deserve a better
They
description.
really do.
Yeah, they don't.
I agree.
What? That's bullshit.
Also, Mezzaluna is not New York style.
It's
it
not,
not?
and they don't. But they have the big slices, and that's why when you
It's-
said that, I
it's
thought it was
better
Mezzaluna.
than sizzle pie.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
had it first, and it's local. And I hope sizzle pie blows up. I'm not saying it's gonna be me.
You know who
I
is-
just hope it happens.
You know who is close to New York style?
Who's that?
Size Pizza.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot
size
about
is
them.
fucking awesome.
I love Size. Yeah.
garlic nuts. Fucking
Well, let's
yeah.
see
Should
if
we move on?
Cassidy can size up to restaurant number 3. Yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
well, yeah,
here
going
we
for third
go.
point.
Okay. It's called a contemporary counter serve featuring traditional barbecue with a twist, including tofu options.
Oh,
Okay.
barbecue.
I think, oh well.
Bill and Tim's is my first.
I
guess.
forgot I wasn't allowed to partake because I already did a lifeline. I had to take it back.
Barbecue. So
rewind
Bill and
it.
Tim's is the first one I'm gonna think of. Because I can't remember. I don't think I've ever ordered tofu, but I'm pretty sure they have that as an option.
Is it counter serve? Because I've only had it delivered. I've never been inside.
What does counter serve mean?
Can I get a description for counter serve?
I don't know.
Can
I
you
really
give
don't
me
know.
a definition of the word?
I think counter serve. Here's the thing. I know a couple places so far from the show that have been described as counter serve, which means they have a counter.
What I love about the show is how bullshit and hard it is. Stupid as
The counter serve means it has a counter, and the people there are kind of casual. You're not sitting down, and you're
Right.
not expected to sit down and have someone come to you.
Right.
You go to the counter, make your order, sit down, and then they bring it to you.
Okay, then I say Bill and Tim's.
Bill and Tim's final answer.
Yes. Yes, I know. I love that place. It's so good.
Bill and Tim's is good.
Did I tell you the last time we were there was an Asian family there, like 60 plus,
Whoa.
and 2 men from that group kind of paired off from their, I'm assuming, wives, and they were like, "Is the Silver Dollar like? Is it like a strip club? Like tits?"
I love it.
But like in broken English, I was like, "Oh yeah, you're good to go." And he's like, "Oh sweet, sweet." And then later when we left, he's like,
That's
like,
awesome.
He's
Oh
like,
my
"Oh hey
gosh.
friend," like waved to us. It was amazing.
Wow.
I like that anecdote.
Yeah.
Bill and Tim's was what I was thinking of because I knew it had tofu, but I was like, wait,
Yeah.
she already used me.
Yeah.
3 points. Cool.
I
Going into
loved
question
it.
number
I
4.
love that place.
And not only that, we defined what counter serve means right then and there.
I get now we know, and I would like to use it when I start reviewing restaurants on Google Maps.
On Yelp.
Well, I want to go on Google Maps. I want to write the descriptions to confuse people. Like for instance, on that one on 18th, I'm just gonna put network restaurant in the description.
There you go.
Ooh.
Easy peasy.
Ariel, my girlfriend, her sister came and visited in town, and as we're driving down West 11th, she sees the Silver Dollar, and she asked me very, very sincerely, "Daniel, what is the Silver Dollar?" And I'm like, it's a strip club. But the way she asked, I think she thought it was something else completely, like a bar.
Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri is just like a theme park sort of.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I've only been there once. And
A strip club? Or
yeah, at Silver Dollar.
So for Kevin's 21st?
No, I wasn't invited to that.
Oh my god.
Neither
That's
was I.
That's
Hold
a
on.
side note.
I
But
also
you weren't 21 at the time.
Okay, how dare you?
You weren't.
You could still invite a guy.
But when I went in,
Ageist
someone
bullshit.
was stripping to 9 Inch Nails, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome."
That is awesome. No,
Yeah.
Silver Dollar is
Was
really
it
cool.
stories of unhappy endings? 'Cause
I
that's-
don't remember what song it
that's
was,
such a
but I
good
knew it was
stripper
9
song.
Inch Nails. That's all I remember.
We're always looking for an excuse to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And we invented a thing called our Arby's and Titties Tuesday.
What?
Oh man, I want to go to.
That's
I like
awesome.
Arby's and Titties,
I
and
wanna
it's
go.
Tuesday.
None of us really care about the Arby's part, but
do,
also
I like
Yeah, I also care. Yeah, 5 for 5. Let's go. 4 for 5. 3
I
for
like
5.
their
2 for
sauce.
5.
it's hard to get everyone somewhere on a Tuesday. That's the hardest part of this whole thing is getting people together on
Let's
a
pick
Tuesday
a different
night.
day. Friday, Thursday. What day can we do quickly for
Well, we
Arby's?
decided it was going to be called Arby's and Titties Tuesday, no matter what.
Just 'cause
Okay,
it- just
Arby's
'cause.
and Arby's Tuesday. Let's go.
Well, speaking of Arby's,
Well, invite me when you go, because I'll go with you.
we will.
So is it? Are we currently at?
We're on
Two-
the third question.
Yeah, we're on the fourth question.
Fourth question.
Some people would say 2. I would say 3.
2 out of 3 so far.
Yeah.
Cass. What restaurant is described as a bustling restaurant offering design-your-own ramen bowls with house-made noodles?
Ooh.
So I know. I'm not allowed to talk. I always forget this.
Your lifeline's gone, my friend.
Hey, fuck you.
Gonna cut your cord.
Design your own ramen. Is that what you said?
I'll give you a reread.
Okay.
Bustling restaurant offering design-your-own ramen bowls
Okay.
with house-made noodles.
So when I hear bustling, I think Isekai Meiji first. But I also know there's that place on, is it Willamette? Wait, no, it's not Willamette, it's Oak. That's the noodle
15th.
bowl.
Oh no, the noodle bowl is not
Is it?
ramen. That's the Korean one.
Oh, it is?
I always. get
I've never
confused.
been there. So
noodle
I don't
bowl
know.
is good though.
I've never been
It's
there.
very good.
I'll
Their
have to try
teriyaki is
that.
excellent.
But I know Isekai Meiji does like ramens,
Do you know-
exclusively
Do you
from
know
11
who makes
to
their
1
own?
a.m.
Do you know who makes their own noodles? Because not a lot of people make their own noodles. Like even in Japan,
I
it's
think
kind of
they
rare.
do. I'm
Or
pretty
maybe they always
sure.
make their own noodles.
But I don't. I can't think of any.
This music
There's
is
a-
so annoying.
There's a place on 5th, but I think that's more Korean, like fusion food.
I mean, there's a pretty famous ramen place in town you haven't said yet, but I don't know if we've used them in this game or not. There's a bunch of new ramen places popping up I've seen
Daniel's
everywhere.
putting his finger up.
You just said this music's annoying, but you have to understand the music that the listeners are hearing is Cass's cool song, and not
That's
the
It's
song
true.
that was
totally not
Oh,
annoying.
man, it's so true.
Totally not
Oh.
annoying, I hope.
It's very quizzical.
I'd be very frustrated if we had annoying music twice.
Well, I don't want to draw this out any further than we have, so I
Thanks.
guess I'll say
I'm gonna-
Isekai Meiji.
And I'm gonna jump in and say Toshi's on her behalf.
Oh, Toshi's!
Well,
I
do you get a
forgot
li-
about
do
Toshi's.
you get a, does she get a lifeline?
Yeah, I'll
we
give her a
already-
lifeline.
we
No, I'm giving her.
already- I
No,
already used
I'm
one.
giving you a lifeline.
Okay. Yeah. So, do we? Which
You're lucky you had that fucking lifeline.
It was Toshi's. I
It is
forgot about
Toshi's.
Toshi's.
Have you been to Toshi's?
I once.
It's really. What'd you think? Well, maybe you
Well, it
didn't
was a
like
long time ago. But I did like it. It was like I was 14.
Are you just saying that because I already expressed that I liked it?
No. It was Halloween and I was 14 years
You're
old.
14. How long has
I was 14.
Oh, and I'm not 21.
How long has Toshi's been around? I
A
thought it was
long,
new.
A long time ago, at least 12 years.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, every
I had
time
a
I've been
doctor's
there.
appointment and my mom took me there for lunch after. I only remember that because it was Halloween.
Can I do a burp take?
Go for it.
That was nothing.
Sorry. Yeah, I like Toshi's. The first couple times I went in, I didn't order anything because the smell was so intense. But if you want ramen, if you've never had ramen, you might have an issue with ramen that's not Toshi's fault. It's done pretty well, but there's like a lot of broth in the bowl, and you might not realize how much food it is for
It
like
is
a $7
rich.
bowl.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll say.
I went in last time. I went in with four other friends, and I didn't order anything. And I got hungry towards the end, and I finished their bowls because none of them could finish, and it was the greatest. I recommend bring friends who are hungrier than you are.
Their gyoza is pretty good. The pot sticker
Their
thing.
gyoza is famous in this town. People love it.
Yeah.
And technically, I've learned this going there because people were really upset about me not knowing it. Gyoza, pot sticker, and dumpling are all three technically different things based on how it's cooked, I guess. So they're the ones who actually do gyoza, and that's why people like it so much.
This isn't just an
Learn
informative show.
something.
It's also an informative
It's
show.
an educational show.
I've heard some people say they don't like Toshi's. They don't think it's authentic enough. But for a long time, it was our only ramen. So there's a couple places that have popped up,
Right.
like next to the High Runs there on 18th.
I haven't been there
And there's
either.
another one I saw on Broadway. So I've seen a couple other ramen places in town, and I keep meaning to try them. Is my point.
That's a good point.
Oh, that burp also.
Cass,
failed.
you're at 2 prizes.
Aw.
Are you ready to
I
go
have
for
2 prizes?
2
Really?
prizes? Are you ready to
Okay.
go for 3? And Lars cannot help
I'm ready.
you out on
I'm
this.
ready.
That's fine.
for the third.
Well, look, that was a redemption of my lifeline from that shitty Mezzaluna description.
Also, I just got an email from Tsunami Books asking for donations.
I
Guys,
heard they made like $300,000 or $4 million.
I don't know. They're
That's
They
a big
raised,
chunk.
they raised a huge amount of money.
every year they're going out of business, and I like them.
That they sort their books not using the Dewey Decimal System, and it's bullshit because I can never find the music section. And
Well, we
no
just-
wonder, I don't know. Try sorting your books. Maybe you won't go out of business.
Lars, every time we do that, we lose another sponsor. No Tsunami Books
Hold
sponsor.
on
They
your
can't afford
hats,
to
folks.
sponsor-
You're in for another
Hold on.
Lars-style rant.
Hold on. They can't afford to sponsor us. They're poor as fuck apparently, constantly every year.
Are we gonna see you comment on this
Oh,
episode?
absolutely.
Okay.
Tell us how poor Tsunami Books is.
Well, Cass, final question.
Yes.
This restaurant is described as original location of a small chain of British-themed brew pubs serving fish and chips and bar fare.
British themed.
Now, I'm gonna reread it because this can be tricky. Original location of a small chain of British-themed brew pubs serving fish and chips and bar fare.
Oh, I never would have thought that was okay.
It's not Newman.
Wait, small chain? That's what it said.
It says small chain.
I have my steel ready.
I honestly have no. I don't know enough about this place to know if this makes sense. The
Oh.
description.
Oh, so
Gotcha.
it's not. You would say it's probably not.
Lars, I have to scour.
You have to scout.
I
Yeah.
have to scour
To make them different.
all day to find different restaurants and get a variety. Okay.
Well, my first initial thought was Newman's, but I don't know if that's
Guys,
right.
this trivia round went on so long the music stopped looping,
Yeah.
and that's never happened to me before.
All right.
I wasn't gonna say anything because I
We
didn't
got
want to
off
ruin
on
the edit.
a couple tangents there. Do you want me to just do my first thought just so we can get this over with?
Get it over with. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Newman's fish house.
Oh, you're gonna go with Newman's.
That means it's wrong.
Hold on. Can I
It's not
steal?
right.
Can I steal?
Yeah.
McMinimans?
You know, you were closer when you said, "Can I steal?"
Steelhead. I was
Steelhead
gonna say.
Brewery.
Oh,
God
I didn't
damn
realize
it.
Steelhead was British
Where's,
themed.
where's the other location?
It's the one on Fifth and Pearl.
There's one in Portland too. I forgot there's one in Portland. Fuck me in the dick.
Well, let's go, Cass.
Fuck me in the dick.
Grab that little bag we call the prize bag.
And that's
Oh, we should mention, Cass brought some prizes of her own to add to the prize
But you
bag.
can't say what they are because
they-
then they
we
won't
can't.
be surprises.
they are bigger. So Daniel wants to do a new
bigger and
bag,
better than before.
but I think it would be
Well, that's-
cleverer to
that's
do
definitely
just
a
write the
candy
prize
cane.
down on
Uh-huh.
a piece of paper. That way they don't know what the prize is. Because in the bigger bag they'll feel it.
Is it clever, or is it so you don't have a giant bag in your
Are
tiny
you
studio?
not allowed to store your fucking? You
Taking
store
up
your
space.
purse in my studio. You can't store the bag
so
here.
I feel a Taco Bell packet. I feel.
You don't know that's what it is.
I feel
Wait,
a
no, she
candy
actually
cane.
listens to the show, Dan.
Oh fuck, that's no good.
I'm gonna take one of the magnets.
Oh, nice.
Are you sure it's a
you
magnet?
get
It's
the
pretty
condom?
dark
Yes,
in
I
here.
can feel it as a bottle cap.
Hold
Was
on,
it
wait.
now- Wait, Cass has two prizes, right?
Don't grab your second prize out
Okay.
until I say you can fucking take your prize out. I've been dropping a lot of F-bombs in this
You
episode.
have.
me
You're so
too.
angry.
Well, it's fun to, I
It's
mark
fun
it.
to pretend.
Well, I mark it as explicit in Google Play and iTunes, where you can hear the show now.
Oh, what'd she get?
What's
What'd she get?
this?
I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, those are stickers.
What is that? It's a little cat. It's Sam Elliott as a. It's Sam Elliott as
It's
an
Sam Elliott?
arcade machine.
That is a sticker from
Game Jam?
the recent indie game test night.
Wow.
It was actually from the arcade rodeo that we.
Oh, we attended.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are hitting that 45-minute pre-break mark. So we're going to go to our break. We're going to cut this episode down a little bit. We're going to come back. We've got a lot of exciting stuff. I've got some things to plug. Dan has some things to plug. Kassidy's here. We'll see if she has stuff to plug. Probably.
We're only gonna plug things. We're not gonna talk about other stuff.
We're going to do like a 45-minute plug. Some people plug stuff for a minute or two at the end. I want to really do like
Right.
remember when Michael McCarthy was on and all he did was talk about other shit happening in town?
He talked about dreams.
He did. I listened.
No,
to
sorry,
that
not Michael. Why
episode.
did I say that? No, Clayton. He just kept plugging other people's stuff in town.
Yeah.
That's what the second half.
Is that the bike guy?
Yeah.
He's a man
That was a
about
cool
town.
episode, right?
Yeah,
New Zealand.
I liked that one. That
Where's
was
your-
a good story.
Where's your New Zealand story?
Never been. That's my story.
This piece of break music, which I'm gonna ask for permission to use after posting this episode, but I'm sure I'll get it. It's called Sad Boy Sounds. It's by Spaceman Spliff, who co-hosts even, a part of the art with me, the other podcast I do. It's great. We'll hear it now.
I know where I'm going. Probably straight to hell for staring at her ass. But if you had to ask, I'd say it's worth it. Never seen something so perfect. This girl's got me feeling bashful. I ain't playing, but she's got me crashing castles. Trying to save you, princess. And can I get your number? Let me index. I ain't looking just for sex. Baby, let me connect. Tell me what your interests are. Who you be with? Nah, like Biggie, but I'm talking shit. Ma'am, I'm sorry to pester, but do you got a mister? If so, got a sister? Are you any good at Twister? Having urges just to kiss her in the moonlight. Hope the time's right, cause I'm thinking that my mind's right. And I'm liking how your shirt's tight. Once again, getting sidetracked. Conversation, gotta have that. Like a girl that'll chat, she's got a life on track. But she understands the limits and can work it there within it. Sometimes I act a bit irrational, cause I knew I'd get attached to you. Oh, tell me what am I to do? I think you're so damn beautiful. I'm trying not to act a fool, but I really am a jester. I hope that she'll accept this gesture. This is more than flattery. The view with you is always more than satisfactory. I'm happy as a robot at the factory. Get it? Because if you were a robot in a factory, you're like surrounded with your enslaved kin. So like, if I or anyone else for that matter got out, I'd be happy as fuck. I don't know. Think about it.
Spaceman Spliff. If you've never heard that name before, first of all, what are you doing? Come on. And second of all, he co-hosts a podcast with me, which is called A Part of the Art. We've done 4 episodes already, which is twice as much What Up Eugene as we've gotten this year.
Oh my god.
Although we did skip last week because, I didn't do any podcasts last week. Sue me. But we're coming back for episode 5. It's going to be Liz and Olivia of the Eugenia. Eugenia? I don't know if it's got a "the" in it. The band's called Eugenia. That show airs on Sunday, so you're going to hear it the Sunday, which is 2 days after you hear this. And we're back from the break. Kassidy, let's talk about music. You play music?
I do.
You wrote, presumably, the instrumental piece we've heard.
Not my best work, but yes.
But it was on the iPad.
That's true.
And you gotta do work on iPads.
That's just how it works. Yeah.
They're not for fucking around. They're not toys.
Yeah.
They're tools.
All right.
And with that,
so did you study composition? How'd you get into music?
my
High school
family
band?
my family is very musical. So
Nice.
I have a uncle who was in a band called Tux Dentist in the 80s in California, and they opened for a couple pretty big bands. And I don't remember. I can't think of where they used to play now, but they were a pretty big deal in the 80s. So like they were on the radio and stuff. So just in general, my family's pretty musical. My mom is too. My brother and I started playing guitar when, I was 14.
Okay.
So I started playing guitar when I was 14. Kind of got into it pretty quick. My brother had mono for about a month and got way ahead of me because we were taking lessons at the same time. So that was definitely his thing. Like he just excels at it.
I thought he was on stereo. It's an audio.
Oh, it's an audio joke.
It's an
for
audio
you.
joke.
Yeah.
I will mute you.
He's amazing at guitar. Like he just has.
I was actually just writing down like we should try to get Kyle on the show because he can jam.
I want to get Kyle on the
can,
show.
yeah.
I want to get anyone
He's
musical.
really, really funny too.
Maybe I'll get him on a part of the art.
Right.
Maybe you're not invited to that interview.
But yeah, so then after that, I kind of got into. Well, I started playing in a band in high school, and they needed a bassist, and so I just bought a bass and an amp and started playing with them.
That's fucking cool. I bought a bass over the summer. It's back there.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
it
show
was
you. It's
fun.
fucking
I
rad.
really liked it. It was fun to do that. And so I was doing that for about a year or two. And then after that, I started playing piano, and I just was self-taught. And I took a piano class in college at LCC, and then I also took some.
Was that keyboard skills? I took keyboard skills.
I think so, and
Or
I think
for
I took one
piano?
after that too.
Oh,
That was
nice.
like the next level or whatever. But
Yeah, I mean, keyboard skills is a full year, I think. Or
yeah,
like 2
it
years
was
almost.
it was fun because it was like those big Yamaha pianos, and I have one at home now.
Yeah, and they got
but-
the weighted keys, and you
Right.
can, like everyone can hear each other or not. Like the
yeah, so you
professor
can all play
controls it.
together, and
Yeah.
it was really funny. But I have one of those at home now that I really love, and so I just kind of play on that. But I don't really record anything, so that's kind of my musical
I get that. I kind of
lineage, I guess. I don't know.
I do. I spend a lot of time improvising, and then like sometimes I record, but usually I don't. And then I'm like, oh fuck, what was that cool thing I did yesterday?
I only record just to remember because if I stop playing for a couple weeks or whatever, I forget songs that I wrote, which is really sad to me. So I try to record what I can just so I can remember that I wrote it and can go back to it. But
So what are some of, because you talked about having a band, right? So what are some of your influences? What are your genres?
my personal influences, I can't speak to the band I was in high school because
Please
I didn't
do.
have a lot of
No, please.
creative control.
There's a sordid past there.
It's
A bass player without control?
right. I would
Must
have
not be John Paul.
I would have loved to have
Jones.
more input, but that just wasn't how it went down. But
feel you.
for my personal music, I definitely take influences from like Beck and Metric and Emily Haynes in particular, who's the lead singer of that band.
Isn't it called Haynes or no?
Huh? Emily Haynes?
Oh, I'm thinking of that band called Hines.
No. Just indie,
Thanks,
kind
Dan.
of
Sorry.
rock, interesting, like not typical format like chorus, verse, kind of just elongated, just how whatever I feel like doing, I guess. But I, again, haven't really recorded a lot, so it's not really credible, I guess. But that's kind of how I do things.
You did we had a what was it? We did the 72-hour horror film contest in Eugene. I think that was 2015,
I
2016.
think so, yeah.
And she like composed the music for that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very last minute. We like
Yeah.
we were all sleep deprived,
It was
and
the
she knocked
Sunday
out.
morning before we had to turn it in.
Which is
Yeah.
how I think most people do it.
That's how you write music in GarageBand. I know there were a couple composition finals I had in high school that I started around 2 a.m. and I was
Yeah.
like, well, this better be.
And it tied it all together because it was the
Yeah.
climax of the film. We were watching one of the final edits. I think it was like 7 a.m. We hadn't slept.
Yeah.
And I showed him, and then like I remember Brett specifically was like, "Wow." It's just the music was
There it
perfect.
is.
Well,
for
it
what
was
it
crazy too because I had my microKORG and that's what I recorded it on, and I just kind of went for it for like I think it wasn't 3 minutes because that's a whole video, right? It was like maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah,
And you just popped it in. I don't think you did much to it.
I did.
You
I
just
literally
popped
just
it in,
popped
it
it in and it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, holy shit! And I didn't have the video to look at when I wrote it, but it
I
just worked.
love that you just kind of
Yeah.
messing around
I
for a
just
minute and a half. and just
psychicked it, I
synced up.
guess.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
that was pretty awesome. But the thing about me writing music and feeling like not a professional is like I don't save that, like I just did it and recorded it and that's it. Like I don't remember what I did, and I think real musicians probably like record that in some way, but
don't
I
know.
didn't.
Sometimes.
And, so I definitely wrote it and I did it, but I don't remember what I did. So.
Yeah. Well, I think the musicians who are paid to write music, film scores, who have to
Right.
write like 5 minutes a day or whatever. I don't think, unless you're John Williams and it's like the Star Wars theme, I don't
Yeah.
think they remember
Or
too
you
much
have
of
a
that.
whole
Like,
orchestra, yeah.
well, I mean, because any film score is gonna have a whole orchestra, but I mean, like where it's so famous, people can hum it. Like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
eventually they'll forget it. If you
That
write
makes
a lot of
sense.
music, because I wrote in high school, I wrote more music. I did all the composition classes. I wrote a lot of music, and I kind of remember how some of it goes. I still have the MP3s for some of it, but
Yeah.
I couldn't give you the sheet music for any of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's been so long, and I printed out scores and gave it to the school band. So
Yeah.
I think it's just like if you write music, you write music.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's all it is, and it's a cool thing to get into because, like, writing music is an interesting hobby, especially with GarageBand with MIDI because you don't have to be good at playing music. You know, you don't have to play it in time. You can go and align it later. Make something that sounds cool, and then that's, you know, and then you can fix it and make it sound like it's in time or sound like it's in key. And that's, you know, like if you want to paint, you kind of have to be good at painting. You can practice, you can get better.
Right.
You know, if you want to act, you have to do an audition, you have to get cast. You could just sit down and get like the $10, $100, whatever version of Ableton and just start making beats. It's not hard to do. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, you're going to do the brilliant stuff easily, but for me, writing music is the hobby you can get into. And then like learning to play the instrument, that's where you need thousands and thousands of hours of practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a cool like middle ground. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I was also in school band, like in 7th grade. I played clarinet for a while.
Nice. I played clarinet for a couple months.
And I loved it, and I picked it up really fast.
It's a fun one.
I really enjoyed it a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, and then No Child Left Behind started. Everything got cut, and so we didn't have band anymore, or it was an elective you had to pay for, and so I didn't end up doing it after that. But I really, really enjoyed it. And I actually did read sheet music at the time, and it just kind of came naturally to me, and I was like, wow, this makes so much sense, because a lot of other things in school didn't, like math and...
music it's really abstract, like learning music theory and sheet music, and so it's one of those things where, like, I know a lot of kind of higher science people or programmers will be really good at music because there's a lot of abstract ideas there as well. Yeah. But it's an interesting thing because you'll try to explain something like the circle of fifths to someone and they just won't get it, and you're like, wow, it's so simple. You're like, I don't know if that's the same thing as a talent, but like either you can kind of think that way or you can't,
right.
Or it's harder to think that way.
Yeah, I definitely don't put it in those like. I don't know a lot of the terms like theory wise. Like it kind of just. I just do stuff that sounds good to me and it kind of works out. But I have met people that are like, oh yeah, that's interesting because of this. And I'm like, okay, but
yeah,
I don't understand why.
I think that matters
label
more.
on it.
You know, like it's good to learn theory. I liked, you know, I love writing like 4-part counterpoint like Bach, but you know, a lot of when I improvise on guitar, I'm not thinking about what key I'm in. I just either I like the sound or I don't. And if I like the sound and I share it and someone else likes the sound, bam, I made art. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, and if they don't like the sound, I still made art, and I'm John Cage now. You know.
In conclusion, what do you have to say about music, Lars?
Listen to my podcast called "A Part of the Art." Did you get that? Did you get that can trick?
No.
My can slipped.
No.
I tried to set my can down, and it slipped on the edge of the table. And I got it back up on the table. I thought it spilled, but it landed.
You a fancy man? Well, Lars, I got a couple pieces of Eugene news to talk about.
Can we talk about some Eugene news, Dan? I've been dying to talk about Eugene news.
I hope to God we can.
Can I say? I haven't said it anywhere else, so I'm going to say it now.
Okay.
This podcast, like doing this every week and coming up with a guest and syncing up my schedule and Dan's schedule, and it's the same way with any other podcast, like A Part of the Art. It's me, Thomas, and a guest musician every week, and we have to sync up all our schedules. It's hard and it's stressful, and when we had to do it every week, it got to the point where I was stressing out about what we were going to talk about and what we were going to do. And then the fact that I had to like record usually on a night where I had to work the next morning, all the way till when I hit record. And then I was like so relieved to just not be doing that anymore. Now that we're recording every other week, it's more relaxing. And so I'm enjoying it more, but it's also like, oh man, every other week I miss doing this.
See.
It's like this weird torture where I'm like, oh, why am I not?
Makes the heart grow fonder, as they say.
That's right. Here,
makes the heart grow sober. I can't afford to buy all this alcohol by myself.
Let's do it. Let's do an old-fashioned handshake.
Aww.
I thought you were gonna zap me.
Yeah!
Oh! She flashed the light. Whoa. She flickered the light.
Oh shit!
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I drop that all the time. She dropped my really nice guitar on the ground.
I got that on recording. That was great. All right, so
Let me fix this first.
some
good news is the neck probably didn't snap.
It didn't.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's what she says.
It's like Fooly Cooley.
Yeah. Hey, when is season 2 coming? You told me.
I hear May.
I'm ready for it.
That's so long, Dan.
That is long.
Why is this not sitting right?
Well, because you threw it on the ground and you broke it.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, for people who couldn't hear her mic, the question was, why is this not sitting right? Because it's a cheap guitar stand, and I should buy a nicer one with a lock on it.
I'm gonna need a wall mount.
I'm gonna start off, guys.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's
Studs.
Yeah, and also like I don't have a drill.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
guys.
So those are my two things.
Sorry.
Guys.
She knew what studs was. I pointed around, and she knew studs right off.
top 3 things you've done in Eugene recently.
Oh,
that are
what?
Eugene specific.
That's worse. I'm sorry. How was your Eugene day is bad?
How about I start off since I have 3 things to talk about.
Okay, please
Oh,
do.
wow.
Okay.
Okay, whip your Eugene
Okay.
dick out.
One, I finished up the Global Game Jam, which was hosted at Code Shops, which is right above Sizzle Pie. It's a 48-hour contest, a friendly contest, to make a video game in 48 hours.
Okay, I have one.
Wow.
I think we could all do like one, you know what I mean? Like in a
Oh, I
round.
don't
Let's do that, yeah.
Well, you have to think of one.
No, it
I
could be a
went-
restaurant you ate at. It could be a
I went to-
movie you saw at a theater.
Don't interrupt me.
Listen, sir, I'm sorry.
You are the co-host, and I will remind you. I went to the Eugene Instrument Library, which we talked about in part 4 of Part of the Art. And if you haven't listened to that, which I don't blame you because I'm sure it's long, it's a library where they rent out instruments. This guy, Banjo Youngblood, and then his partner, Rox, and they're in the band Humble George. They got together and they have this pretty big house they live in. So part of the house, it's not open to the public. It's by appointment, but it's open till 8 p.m. And then they do a lot of public stuff. They're trying to do live streams of different performances. They're trying to set up a recording situation in the basement. They have instruments for $10 a month. You can, that's a pretty good fee for instruments. You can start renting instruments. Cool. And it's all by donation. And they have like 3 people who come and repair the instruments. It's fucking cool. But the other thing they're doing is they're doing workshops. So I mentioned already, to a workshop on, taking care of your physical health as a musician, doing all the right exercises for your wrists. And, if you're going to sit down for an hour, she was like, you got to do some light cardio first. So she's like, do some lunges and then stretch your hamstrings. Oh my God. It's a lot of work before you can practice.
But why not do lunges while you play guitar?
Well,
Some
that's
people do
why
that.
straps exist. So I'm glad you asked because that's my plan.
I tried to play
Gotta
Rock
get
Band
those
once.
Hot pants.
Yeah.
Cass,
Can't do the arm out
What?
kind.
now it's your turn.
Yeah, I went to the library, dude. Instrument library.
I had Tara Ren takeout this week.
What'd you get?
Because we got Tom Kha, we got pumpkin curry, and we got pad thai.
Ooh, I like pad thai.
That's pretty much all I'd get. I like to get the
I like the
combination.
coconut thing, but it's usually too expensive.
I always get a
Yeah.
pad thai.
It was expensive. It was like
If we do like a
$45 for all
yeah.
that.
If we do a family platter, I get a pad thai, a tom kha, and a curry of some
Very
sort.
nice.
I always just get
Yeah.
pad thai for myself.
Yeah.
I'll eat
It's
a
the
whole-
cheeseburger of Thai food. You can't go wrong.
It's
fucking
really good.
love pad thai. Every time I go, I'm like, well, I could get something else, or I like pad thai.
With extra peanut sauce.
You gotta get that
That's
peanut
what I
sauce.
did.
Fucking love
I
that
got
peanut
that
sauce.
peanut sauce.
Dan,
Ah, so good.
Oh, what Eugene thing did you do? Number 2.
I'll list what I did today. I went on a run. I live in West Eugene, and
You went
You
on a
live
run?
in
You're that kind of
fucking
person
nowhere.
now?
what?
You've changed.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Also-
wait, you haven't.
I go on runs.
I just
Well,
saw
he's
you
still
run
fat.
around here. He's not fat.
Wow.
How dare you? I'm working on it.
You're not
So
fat,
far.
Daniel.
Okay. I ran basically in the South Hills of West Eugene, where there are some rich ass houses, and
Hold
I got
on. The South Hills of West Eugene.
yeah
Okay.
the Southern Hills of
The
West
south
Eugene.
side of West Eugene.
If
Hills.
you're in the west,
Real West.
and
if
then you
you're-
go south, which goes uphill into the hills. There's some rich ass houses up there, and what I like to do is
on them.
when I'm running around there, I like to just kind of look at the houses and see how rich they are and what they have in their backyard. So I just like look.
Are you the kind of person that looks in windows? Because I do that too. I'm fascinated by like people's houses and how they decorate and stuff.
There's a German word for that.
Is there?
It's for specifically when you look in people's houses and
It's a German word for everything.
It's
probably
like
looking
my
window houser.
passion. When we're driving the car and I see that someone's window is open, I see people like living inside. I'm like,
that's exactly
in
what it
there.
is. There's a word
Yeah.
for seeing people through windows
I don't know why I like it. But
and
I do.
realizing that they have a life of their own and you're seeing it.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't even know.
People have a life of their own.
Well,
There's
it's that
literally dozens.
it's
of
that
us.
you're watching it in action and you're realizing that they're their own little universe.
That's
within their
really
own.
cool because
Do
that's
you-
how I feel when I do
Do
that.
you ever, when you see the houses, try to guess how much they're worth? And
No,
then, like,
I-
if you ever see a house for sale, you do like 650,000, and then you look at the asking
I
price.
do that all the time. We watch a lot of like home renovating
Oh.
shows.
Yeah,
and I
you
always
gotta do
try to
that, Dan.
guess.
I find that boring.
Price
What I
is
do
Right.
is I look and I'm like, damn, that's a fancy house. And what I'll do is I'll look at it as much as I want because I like
I'm
to
a man and I can do
no,
that.
I like to instill the fear that they might think I'm casing their house for later. And I'm
Nice.
like, you guys are rich, fuck you. So I'm gonna look at your house all I want.
You want them to be scared.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, you know what a Eugene thing I did today, Dan, is?
Number 2.
Number 2. I do this little podcast called What Up Eugene. I'm doing it right now. First time in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, every other Friday, just like always, except for when we didn't have a set schedule and also when it was every week.
Okay.
And that's it. Well, I'm sorry. I don't do a lot of stuff. In this
So that's
town.
your number 2, and that sounds like the last one you'd put. So what are you gonna have for 3? I guess we'll find
That's
out.
a really good
Yeah,
question.
the
and I
crescendo.
can't wait for you to find out, Dan. You're so stoked. You're
I'm
so
excited.
ready.
Cass,
I really don't have anything else. I've been working a ton. I worked over the weekend. I didn't go outside hardly at all. I've been working a lot.
she's been designing.
I've been designing.
in Eugene though.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. In Eugene, damn.
At a Eugene
Done.
design firm that I work at.
Number
So
2
I
for-
guess that counts.
For number 2, I'm gonna have to say that I saw Shape of Water recently at the Broadway Metro, which is the downtown theater. It's very awesome.
Yeah, they took the name Bijou out, right?
Yeah, there was a
They're two separate entities.
Yes.
Well, because it was the Bijou, and then it was the Bijou Metro, and then now it's
there was a
not.
lawsuit, and now they're two separate
Wait.
companies.
What? I thought it was the same. Was it the same company before?
Yes.
And then they broke up.
Yeah. So one of the owners sued for there's a lot
Like
of
visitations.
No, I don't think so, but I think Eugene Weekly covered it, and probably
I
the
don't-
Register Guard too, so you could look it up. But
I'm
there
not
was a lot
really
of drama.
I'm not a physical media person.
Right, but you could look on it online about it,
Ooh,
and
I'm not really a Googler.
so you don't like information. That's fine. I'm just for the rest of y'all that are listening. I'm
For the
saying you can look
audience.
it up and see the drama that unfolded. Now they're two separate entities. One's the Broadway Metro, one's the Bijou. It's over by campus, the Bijou version, and Broadway is obviously Metro is on Broadway downtown. So.
You know, that's upsetting. Although it's better than when Shuriken League changed their name for literally no good reason except for to confuse my friends.
But it's in the same place.
Yeah,
so.
but have you ever heard of Game Pub? Because none of my friends have.
Oh, is that what they changed it
Yeah.
to?
Do you want to go to Game Pub? Where the fuck is that? Shuriken League. Oh yeah, let's go to League.
well. If you guys probably don't have a number 3, do you mind if I segue from Game Pub?
You do your
Please.
3, but I have a 3.
Oh,
He has a 3.
No, it's your 3 first.
that was
What-
my 3.
What was your 3?
I saw a
Oh,
movie
you
at
saw
a
a
local
movie. I'm
theater,
sorry.
the Broadway Metro.
I thought we were doing Kassidy.
Shape of Water does not deserve how many nominations it
You
got.
didn't like it?
I know, I thought
Wow.
it was good, but it didn't deserve every goddamn
See,
nomination.
I had a hunch that that's what it was like too, and I haven't seen it yet, but I had a feeling I wouldn't feel like it was,
Yeah.
as special as people are saying. So.
I liked it, but I felt like it was kind of.
I heard there's a masturbation scene. Is that true?
and the old people. We were in the audience.
No spoilers,
We're
or
in the-
say
wait,
spoilers
no,
and
hold
then
on.
give it a second.
Lots of spoilers. I want to know.
Well, she kind of spoiled it. So basically, there's a couple masturbation scenes of the same character, and we were an audience entirely composed of old people, and they audibly gasped, like kind of not like they
Excuse
were
me.
like
Very
offended,
nice.
but they're like, wow, like
Dan,
wow, that's an
Dan.
movie.
Other people do that just
Yeah.
like me.
What was the gender of the character masturbating?
I don't see gender.
Spoilers.
What was the genitals of the character
It wasn't the
masturbating?
fish monster, if that's what you're asking.
No, that's not attractive
The only
at all.
reason I asked is because I saw Guillermo del Toro. is that-
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo? There was an article talking about how he depicted masturbation was like a lot more real than a lot.
Yeah,
a
no,
lot-
for sure, and that's
yeah.
why I was so surprised that these old people were not freaking out, but because I'm guessing the old people who go to Broadway Metro are a little more liberal, maybe and
Right.
stuff.
Well, yeah,
But
from
they were
the
still
stories I've
taken
heard
aback
Brett
because
tell.
I think they look at the Oscar list and they're like, oh, these are the movies we have to see. They're Oscar nominated. They must be
they must be amazing.
they must be
Good.
amazing
Every way.
and they must be intellectual and all this stuff. And then like someone masturbates, they're like, oh, I didn't expect sex. And then there's blood in the movie and they're like, there
Is he in the masturbation scene?
there was blood that showed up, and this one lady right next to me went back like it was a jump scare, and I'm like, someone else mumbled, is this a horror movie? Like,
It's a 3D movie. You're like,
Question.
dodge it.
yeah,
Here's what I don't get. These people, they're at I was going to say Bijou, the Broadway Metro.
There
like,
you go.
you're watching indie films.
Yeah.
Indie films are
How it
weird. I mean,
goes. Mhm.
Swiss Army Man was fucking gross.
oh, I love Swiss Army Man.
Yeah,
haven't
but
seen
like
that
you're
yet.
not what like how do you're like downtown, you're like, I guess I'll watch a movie. I don't know anything about indie movies. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I did
Number 3.
last week in Japan?
In Japan.
I don't know why I said Japan.
It's a long flight, but he made
Yeah.
it work.
Why I had to go there and back, and that was my weekend. Again, Eugene. Last week in Eugene, I made a post on a little website called Craigslist.com/Oregon/Eugene. I made
Casual
a
Encounters, you finally did it.
Yeah.
You finally made the jump.
You know what?
That's
I
exactly
actually.
what I was gonna say.
That's First of all.
How dare you steal his moment?
Are you
Daniel?
more about the missed connections than the...
I'm a missed connection. Sometimes I read it and it's never about me. It's always it's never missed connections. It's always these like 50-year-olds who are writing about an ex, and it's like these long poems, and they're like, "You were the wind to my flower." And it's like, okay.
Why aren't we reading those?
Do you want to read Craigslist Misconnections?
No. We don't. Let's make a whole entire episode of that.
Yeah,
Okay,
next week.
that's great. I
Or
like that.
would
Can
you-
I come back for that? Because that sounds pretty funny.
Yeah. You know what? Because we have to record an episode next week because Dan will be out of town, so it'll post in 2 weeks. We'll have you back.
Okay.
We'll do Craigslist Misconnections.
Okay.
And yeah, I said no duplicate guests this season. I lied.
We might have Kyle though as well, or
Can we have a
Good luck
foursome?
with that. I told him about it, and he said, "Fuck no." That's what he said. That's
Did you
how
tell
he
him
said it
we'll
too.
talk about music?
Yeah. He's kind of into the dubstep.
Oh my God.
Like,
Oh, never mind.
no,
Fuck
I
him.
just texted him.
you did.
What'd
What
he
did
say?
you say? What did you say?
I said, "Hey, do you want to record a podcast with me and my neighbors sometime next week?" And
We're
just
not
said,
neighbors
he
anymore,
just said,
Dan.
he just said, "I think you have the wrong number."
I love it.
He's hilarious, but I told him a little bit about what you guys do, and he was like,
Ooh, don't no,
nah.
never no, don't tell people before they come on because it's not good.
Yeah, well,
I posted in the musician, I want to say subreddit, but it was sub Craigslist category. It's under community/musician. Because so I've had the problem with writing music that I get distracted a lot and I improvise a lot. So I was like, I want to write music with someone, but a whole band is a hard thing because it's hard to sync up for schedules and follow podcasting and stuff. I was like, I'm just looking really for one person, not necessarily to perform with, but at least someone else who wants to write music will sit down. And ideally, because I don't sing well, someone who sings well. And that's pretty much it. I said, seeking songwriting partner, looking for someone who sings. I don't really care how old you are or like your music experience, but if you know major or minor keys, fine, whatever. And I didn't get any replies, not even from a bot. Excuse me. Yeah.
Wax
No, it
the
was
mic.
sad. No, it was sad.
is 60 too old? Is 14 too young?
Well, I said
somewhere in the middle, perhaps.
What I said was,
you got some pipes.
What I said was, I'm 23. I'm looking for someone in the same age, but I won't discriminate by age.
Oh.
Now, I was afraid they might think that I would discriminate other ways, and I will if they're ginger. I will. But I didn't want to have a whole post of I'm not going to discriminate for any of the things you are, because that takes too long. Anyways,
You're only 23.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
you
man.
earlier accused me of not being 21.
No,
Learn my age.
when Kevin turned 21, you would have been way younger than that, is what I'm saying. Because Kevin's what? How old is Kevin now?
40 apparently.
Little Lars would have been like, "Could I go to the Swip
Can
Cup?"
I go to the Silver Dollar, please?
excuse me.
$silver club.
Please let me
Excuse
go
hold
to
on.
the Silver
Question.
Dollar.
Am I British? Why am
Oh,
I British?
I just want to eat some wings. I'm so
I
Have
hungry.
another bowl? More porridge?
What are you, Data from the Goonies?
see
I'm not 007.
I finally got a reply yesterday to my Craigslist post, and I posted like
How old were they?
they didn't say. The reply was so vague. The reply was like, "I like to write music and sing. Let's jam."
I am a human man that can
Yeah.
sing songs.
Right. Well, it wasn't a robot, assumably. But then I replied. I was like, "Cool," and I asked some questions. I didn't ask how old they were, but I was like, "When can you meet up? What do you play? What's your kind of background? What are your influences?" Because I put 3 songs that inspire me, like "Ramble On" by
Right.
Led Zeppelin, in the post because I thought,
Why not? Yeah.
let people know what my influences are.
Uh-huh.
And that was yesterday. They messaged me, and I know they're a go-getter because they messaged me at like 7:30 a.m. And I replied at like 10 because that was my break at work. Excuse me. Have not heard back.
Aw.
And I know it's not like they slept in all day
Maybe
today.
they died.
They ghosted
I
you.
hope they died. I think it was Mark something. Either you're dead,
R.I.P. Mark. We
Yeah.
miss you.
or because I asked if you could do Thursday and it's coming up, and I have Thursday plans. You bitch.
That's too bad.
I know. I'm so sad.
We're calling you out, Mark. You better listen to this
The
episode.
only person to ever reply. Did he reply to multiple posts and
I'll
get
sing
someone
a song
better
for
to
you.
reply?
Lars, you're kind of reacting like an
I'll
OK
s-
Cupid
Yeah,
message that didn't get.
Man, okay,
Oh,
Cupid's for...
they changed their rules,
Jesus.
dude. You have to use your real name, and also,
Last time I reactivated my account, I had like 70 messages, and
Yeah,
every single one was the same joke about the same thing on my profile, and I was like,
That's
you guys,
awesome.
come on.
You have to put out a big net when you're a guy.
that's right,
Right?
yeah,
You
right, yeah, because you get 70 messages, and I get none.
I got a lot of messages. For
Well, I'll tell you, Kassidy, this is not a local thing, but OK Cupid, as a single guy, I know this. You guys might not know because you're not single. They changed their rules,
Uh-huh.
This is so confusing. If you send someone a message,
Uh-huh.
they no longer see it, and also you can no longer see their profile at all. It's kind of like they block you.
What?
If I send you a message, I can't see your profile anymore, so I can't like stalk you.
Great.
But-
That's good. That's a good
but-
rule, I think.
You can't see the message I sent you until you see. If you see my profile, it'll say I sent you a message,
Oh.
and if you like it, then you can see the message.
That's probably a good call because when I used to be on it and I'd be online, people would start messaging me. There was this one guy that was like, "Hey, what's up?" It was like late. It was like 12 something. And he was like obviously drunk and I was I started trolling him. I was like, he's like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "I'm wearing a barrel." He's like, "A barrel?" And I'm like, I screen capped it. I have it somewhere. And I spelled barrel wrong for like the first 4 times for some reason. I think I was drinking too. And I was like, "Yeah, I hide my raccoon." And he's like, "Really? That's what you do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I float down the river and stuff." And he's like totally believing me. It was
Oh, I
so
need to see
funny.
these screenshots.
Yeah, I have a lot of good OkCupid screenshots.
How are we
I
on-
have them somewhere?
Well, let's we'll move into
do
your
you have a number
story.
3? Do you have a number 3?
Of Eugene?
Yeah.
I've literally just been working. Going
Oh,
was
that's
on
fine. That's
OkCupid.
fine.
Yeah, that's
Well,
all I've been doing
in that
recently.
case, we're pretty close to the end.
Yeah.
Are we already?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Aw.
We're going long. We go long now, and I'll tell you.
We go long
Some people
now.
have accused me of going long, but our episode of Geronimo and our episode of Mark Davis got a lot of plays, and
They were good. They were good episodes. I will listen to them both.
Yeah.
Well, Mark shared it a ton.
Yeah,
I'll share
which
this.
is good.
Oh, really?
A ton.
Maybe.
I added the ton.
We'll see.
What are we at time-wise?
I don't know, but let's move into your segment.
Where are the numbers? I can't see them.
It's not.
Give
even
me
though
the
I
numbers.
enabled auto scrolling.
It is recording though, right?
It's not. Yeah, it is recording.
Okay.
It's not auto scrolling, even though I enabled auto scrolling, but it was scrolling before the
I feel
break.
like I had stuff to talk about and I forget everything.
What do you- well,
because of
okay,
these ciders.
Can we...
Time out?
Nah, we'll just keep going.
Potty time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually
Well,
do
quick-
too.
That can give you guys...
Staring at these walls, empty feeling in my chest. I just wanna be the best. Doesn't matter who I choose. Doesn't matter what I lose. I just gotta fucking make it. I honestly can't take it, all the stress and what it's done to me. I got out the river, but I'm drowning in this apathy. I remember back when living life was easier. Before every day was just another tear to jerk. But lately I've been stuck in my ways. My feelings are a maze, I got lost a long time ago. What you're seeing is a shadow. Dark side of the moon, hope I get full soon. Stomach grumbling, feet stumbling. We got food in the kitchen, but no steam in my engine. I just feel like tapping out, so much sadness, so much doubt. And when we're getting down to it, I'm something y'all could live without. That's why I'm pushing through the drought. Dedication's effort before motivation. That's my mantra. That's my foundation.
Wow, that was some great break music.
It sure was.
There's not music for that break, Dan.
Oops.
But now we know it was a break.
Oh, shit.
One thing the therapist, the physical therapist, told me was drink more water. They said because they were talking about back pain and stuff, and they were like obviously better posture fixes back pain, but the other thing that fixes pain is water. Like drinking water fixes a lot of the pain people face, and they were like, hey, take your weight, divide it by 2. I weigh about 200 pounds, maybe like 180. And then drink that many ounces. So drink 100. If you weigh 200 pounds, drink 100 ounces of water a day, which is less than 8 glasses. Because if a glass is 16 ounces, or maybe it's 8 ounces. Yeah,
It's 3 Nalgene's.
Wait, you weigh 200 pounds, maybe about 180? That's a big gap.
I bet. Well, I don't know. I don't weigh myself very often, but
Give or take 20 pounds.
I went from 150 to 185 or so real quick. I don't think I've been losing weight, and I haven't weighed myself in like a year and a half. So my guess, if I'm gaining weight at the same rate,
It
is 200.
fluctuates. It fluctuates.
My feels like weight is 180. My actual weight
It's
is
the web-
200.
It's like the weather.
Last time I weighed myself, it was 185. If I'm being honest with myself,
I know.
it hasn't gone down.
Hey.
Right, it's fine.
Anyways, my point is that everyone in this room had to pee. Me, because I've been drinking a lot of water. Who
That's
knows
good.
why
It's
these
good
guys
for
had to
you.
pee?
It's good for you.
Well,
I was drinking water too, and I also
two
drank
ciders.
2 ciders.
The physical therapist said it sucks drinking that much water because you're going to have to pee a lot. But she was also like, and also, if you do it consistently, your bladder will stretch out, and then you won't have to pee a lot.
Yeah, it's true. Because whenever I start doing it again, it takes probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then once that's done, you're pretty good to go if you keep doing it. So
Okay.
You gotta stretch out that bladder,
it's a
don't you,
little
Lars?
tip for you, bladder enthusiasts.
Yeah, get that bladder stretch going.
Just stretch it out. Not sure what that was.
Oh, it was just the outer shell of my OtterBox case.
Oh.
Fell on the ground, made a nice chink noise. Dan, now that I've returned us from the break, that's how long it takes to come back from a break.
Mm-hmm.
What segment are we doing?
Well, I can do some quick Eugene news, or I can do fan mail, and that's completely up to our guest.
Let's do fan mail.
Let's do. I guess it's not up to me, but I'm gonna agree with the host and say fan mail.
Only because Dan said we had a lot of fan mail last time, and the only thing we heard was from one person, which was great, but it may have been a letter from November-ish.
All right.
Letter from November. That's a nice little rhyme.
New fan mail, and Cass will provide us with a new fan mail music later.
I will.
Yeah, send me the theme.
Okay.
It's Tuesday today. The show airs on Friday.
.mp3.
Yeah,
not
.mp3.
MP4.
Yeah. In 4A is the shit
Okay.
format you sent me.
All right, we're not talking about formats. Here we go.
No,
I don't want to talk about formats.
It's got DR in
Daniel,
Dan.
let's have 20 more minutes to talk about the format, and then we'll get to the.
Wait,
fan.
are we recording the S58s right now?
These are the 58s, yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Good. Just so we're clear. Hold
Okay.
on.
These are the SM58s, yeah.
First piece of fan mail says, "When are you having Eugene Levy on the show?"
Who was
Is
that?
that's the whole fan mail?
Who was that?
That's
from?
one piece of fan
Is that,
mail.
was
who's
that
it by
from?
and where's it?
It's anonymous.
In what inbox was that sent?
Tumblr.
Bullshit.
Tumblr.
What's our Tumblr password, Dan? I want to log in and check this.
We can't. Okay.
Oh no!
Next piece of
Well,
fan
hold
mail.
on. Hold on.
Uh,
Let's answer it. Is Eugene Levy alive?
Yes.
Yeah. God
Are
damn
they-
it.
He's on a new show. I just saw a commercial with him on it.
He's a
Like,
healthy Jewish
it's
man.
Weird. Hold on. It's weird how into Eugene Levy you are, considering you're just a random guest.
Eugene Levy's like a huge actor. He's been in everything.
I
feel like you're the odd man out in this situation because
Yeah.
like American
I
Pie
do-
was a huge deal when I was a kid. Like he was in all of those.
Those are
I
great.
feel like American Pie is not the same thing as everything, and also
No,
I
he's in every single American Pie is what I'm saying. He's also in Best in Show. That was an awesome movie.
I'm a big Pie fan.
Yeah.
I only watch American Pie, and he's in all of those. I'm more of a.
I didn't
I'll be
say
real
I
with you.
only watched that. Oh my god.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'm more of a Don McLean American Pie. You know the song. I like that.
Here's our second piece of
Give
fan
it to me.
mail.
Give it to me.
Does Lars take requests for cover songs? I'd like to hear Three Blind Mice.
That's a band name. What song?
No, I
Blind
think
Mice
they
is a
mean.
song.
Oh, the song
Yeah,
from
the nursery rhyme. I think.
I
Okay, sing it, Lars.
honestly, can I be real with you? I don't know how that one
Okay, I'm gonna
goes.
start off, and then you're gonna sing with me. Okay, ready?
I'm doing a meter for
Oh, she's
you.
the metronome.
Sure, but I don't know. I've heard it
Three
maybe once.
blind mice. Three blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. Yeah, da 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 da. What? And da da da. Three blind mice.
I honestly, it's vaguely familiar. But is that the same melody as
Wow,
something
we
else?
sound really good.
Fan
you
mail
want
no-
to start a band?
Fan mail number 3.
I want to start a band. Reply to my Craigslist post.
Okay, I'll search it.
Fan mail number 3 says, I am a very personal friend of the Barn Lights owner, and I have to say we are not happy to hear the comments about their establishment.
You know what? I have not trashed it in like 3 episodes, and that's a record. And also, fuck the Barn Light. Every time we have someone on, they agree with me.
You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
The police have been called.
Oh, man.
How long ago were the police called?
Hey, the EPD was pretty slow.
This is some old fan mail.
Fan mail number 4. What kind of mics y'all using on the show? I'm a little bit of an audiophile, and I don't think you've mentioned it on the show.
You know, we actually talk about it almost every episode.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's weird that people aren't listening. Right now, we're using SM58s. We did an episode of SM57s. It did not sound good. We also did an episode where I gave the guest a special condenser mic. I thought that would be cool. It was cool, but because it's a condenser and this is a small studio, it was boomy. We all came in on it. Duh. Learn the mics, yo. Can I get a shirt? Can I get a shirt? Is it stealing it? If I say is that a shirt, is that stealing it from someone?
I think the takeaway is the difference between a good mic and a bad mic is just one number.
Or maybe who's using it?
That's
And
true, too.
a lot of post and pre-production.
Maybe if you don't know how to talk into a mic, you shouldn't be talking.
Oh, Mike. What are you trying to say?
Maybe learn how to gain stage.
Can we do both things, the fan mail and the other thing?
Yeah, I'd like
Oh,
to.
yeah, we're blowing through this. This is
Okay,
great.
Great.
Last
Good
fan
news.
mail.
I thought there were only 4.
No.
5.
Last fan mail.
Cinco.
You know Eugene is full of hippies and trees, right? Maybe talk about that sometimes.
Have we not talked about the Oregon Country Fair for over 10 hours?
But have we talked about the trees enough?
Yeah, have you talked about those trees?
Yeah, because we did. Some of your trivia was about like different kinds of tree and nuts and shit.
Well, I guess that wraps up fan mail. Play that out.
Ba-da-ba-da-da-da-ba!
And that's the fan mail theme.
That was actually
We're gonna
from
move
Wheel
on.
of Fortune.
We're gonna move on.
We
to...
often use not Wheel of Fortune music, but I say that it is.
Who
So
Wants to Be a Millionaire?
no, wait, shit. Which one do we? No, I say it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
No,
and it
you
is-
say Wheel of Fortune, but it's Who
Every
Wants to Be a
time.
Yes.
Millionaire, and I
get mad at me.
say it out loud at work, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm
You're
like,
like,
"Lars got it wrong again."
Lars doesn't know which.
Oh,
which-
that Lars! He's doing it again.
What a character! Doesn't know which.
You
music
don't know who
he's
Lars
stealing.
is, but it's just know that he's got it wrong, and
What?
I
Hold
got
on,
it right.
Hold on. I vlog on YouTube. I have an Instagram. Tell them. They'll go find out.
Right.
Then they'll hate me with
Okay,
you.
I'll send the link around the office.
Just
to
tell
my
them-
25 employees.
tell them-
and I'll say, "This is this guy I know, and I live near him. And sometimes he says Wheel of Fortune when he means Who Wants to Be a Millionaire."
Jeopardy?
This guy hasn't seen a game
get
show.
upset. I get upset about it.
Tell them Lars in the studio, because that's the SoundCloud now.
Right.
It's the Instagram. It's the YouTube.
They
If
all
I Twitch-
match.
Yeah, I synced them all up. I even made an email for it, which is
21st century.
yeah. Oh, bump the mic stand. They're all in sync. Synxies.
Sinksies.
What's our Eugene news, Dan?
Our Eugene news. Play that intro.
I don't have this
No,
sound
Cass is
file.
gonna make it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Here I go.
could you hum?
Yeah.
Could you just do like a like just hum the
Wait, give
whole
us a
time?
Reggie Watts really quick. And clean cut.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Starting now.
What? You're just gonna put me on the stuff.
Eugene News. Eugene News. Eugene News.
You know what?
There you go.
You know what he has? He has a looping pedal.
He does, and I
It's-
don't.
Yeah, it's very hard to do that.
Also,
without
don't have that
looping.
afro, and I think that helps with the acoustics.
Also, he's a talented vocalist,
Right.
and I'm not attacking anyone in this room except
got-
for myself and the other two people in this room.
I'm a good vocalist.
She
Oh.
is.
You
she
haven't
is
heard
for
my
real.
work.
I haven't. No, you should come sing in my band. I'm starting a
Okay.
band.
Sure.
So our there's only two pieces, and only
at
one of them
opera
is
singing.
actually news, really.
Give it
great.
to me.
Have you guys
Let's
ever
hear it.
been to the Wayward Lamb?
I have.
Yes.
Oh, do you guys like the Wayward Lamb?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're closing down February 3rd.
Hold on. Question.
What?
Question. Question.
But where will the gays
How?
go?
How is the cowfish still in business? I know they tinted their windows so you can't see that no one's in there, but there's still no one in there. Are
No,
they
I-
laundering money? Is that why it smells so weird?
No idea. It does smell like a pool in there, doesn't
It
it?
smells weird, right?
It smells like a
that's where-
candy pool.
That's where question upon you happened.
That is. No,
It was cowfish.
Okay, it was
I was
catfish.
more sober than you were.
You don't know that.
I mean, look, I've had Wayward Lamb is weird with the like 2 bars, and the front bar is kind of unnecessary, and the limit to how many people fit in the dance space. But I get it because it's a smaller space. But are they not successful? I feel like people
I feel
go there
like they
fairly
were.
often.
I miss Snafu.
okay.
Did you ever go to Snafu? That was before you lived here, I think.
was
This
that at
isn't-
Wayward?
No.
Oh.
So do you know where? Let's see. Where? What the hell is that called? The alley behind. Next to John Henry's. What's that weird store?
Yeah, where it's like International Tap House and Party downtown.
Yeah, but what's the store with like the
Lazar's-
posters? Lazar's Bazaar.
Oh, yeah.
Behind that was a tiny, and now it's like a restaurant or something, but it
Oh,
used to be a
weirdsies.
gay bar, and it was called Snafu.
Oh, okay.
And it was like the size of a closet, and it had 2 like weird.
The
cubby
irony.
holes.
It sounds
no,
like a
I
gay
know
bar.
it had. I know it's funny, but it had like 2 like cubby holes where
Mm-hmm.
people could like make out or whatever. There was a lot
Nice.
of gay activity happening. The dance floor was really tiny. They had stumps to sit on at the bar, and there was only one bathroom. It was unisex, and there was always a giant line. It was a very interesting atmosphere.
Yeah.
But that was the only gay bar at the time. And then Cowfish happened, and that everybody kind of gravitated towards that once
Sure.
Snafu closed.
It was the closest thing to a gay bar.
Right, yeah, and John Henry's was still around, so they did Glam Night like the first Friday of every month or something. I can't remember
Right.
exactly when they did it. So they would do the drag show there. after Snafu closed, and now Wayward's happening, and they do drag stuff there, but it's closing, so I don't know.
I mean, I know they still do. They do drag at a couple other bars.
Yeah.
Because they they do
Game Pub. They call it church at Game Pub.
But
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But since it seems like you know the kind of gay bar history here, and obviously, as a straight person, it's also just the bar you go to dance at. I knew of Cowfish before I turned 21, but I've only been in the bar scene for 2 years.
Yeah.
Officially and unofficially.
Oh my God. So young.
Okay, no one likes Cowfish, and I get it because I go in and the waiter sucks and it smells bad. But what's the deal? Like, why do people? Because it's a big, nice space. You'd think. Like, how do they fuck up so bad, and then the Wayward Lamb goes out of business? That's what I want to know.
I'm not really sure. That's a good question.
Or
people were speculating.
Is this question? There was that other bar that didn't go out of business. They just moved, but the news story was presented to me like they were going out of business, and I celebrated that.
Oh, Black Forest.
Are they moving?
I don't really know. Okay, so here's the deal.
Give it to me.
I've never been to Wayward. Nothing against it. I just never end up going.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
kind of
fine.
unfortunate now that it's closing.
Yeah.
Because I saw a picture and it said they have a game room, like with pool tables or what?
No.
I've never seen that room.
Me
There's a
neither.
front room,
Oh.
which is like a tiny little
It's kind
cafe
of
area,
like a
and then there's
kind of chill bar front in the front, and then you pay a cover to get into the
Yeah,
back, which
it's like
has a bar
$3.
too, but it also has a stage and music. and
yeah.
stuff.
and
Oh,
it's,
shit,
I mean, it's
okay.
a tiny little room. There's usually like 40 or 50 people, so it's not super small, but for the amount of people,
Yeah.
And
That's why it was one of the few places that had a line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did have to wait. It usually wasn't too bad, but it was just because you obviously for fire code they couldn't let too many people in.
Right.
Well,
I'm sad that that's closing. That's too bad.
they gave kind of an ambiguous ending. So I'm gonna
Ambiguous.
try to quote
Okay.
Wayward. Okay, I'm just gonna paraphrase.
Give it to me.
But the owner said he's like, here's the paragraph to how I described what I wanted the bar to be in the beginning, and then he said, and I feel like that journey has come to a close, and the journey ends this February 3rd. Let's have one big bash to end it all.
It sounds like he made his money, and he's like, "Fuck it, I don't care enough to sell the business."
Who can
Could be, yeah.
say yeah?
I just did.
He just said.
You heard it here first.
Some people were speculating because downtown's becoming pretty gentrified, and
It really
the
is,
cost
yeah.
might have been too much with the overhead.
That's true.
A
Rent
lot of
is
people-
being increased.
A lot of people hanging out to dance and talk and mingle,
Yeah.
not enough buying of
Buying
food.
of
and
drinks.
drinks.
Also, I
yeah.
was thinking of because doesn't the same company own Cowfish, the tap, like most of those bars downtown? Maybe they got bought out or something.
Maybe.
Oh
Maybe,
yeah.
Because I know a lot of those places
Okay.
are all owned by the same person.
But that's my point, though. Every time I go in Cowfish, which is not often, there are 0 people in. The amount of times I've went into Cowfish with one other person and been the only 2 people in the bar on like a Saturday night at 9 o'clock, it's like 5. Like it's enough times that how are they in business?
They could be holding out.
Because when we used
Yeah,
to go
if they're
there
owning the property.
when we were younger,
Well, that's what I mean.
5
It used to be
years ago or
popular,
whatever.
right? Like before
Yeah.
I turned 21,
it was like
popular.
elbow room only. Like when we would go in there, and it would take forever to get a drink
I-
because there were so many people.
I one time had them charge me a cover, got into there and found out there were no other people. Like it was me and a group
Aw.
of 4, and they're like, "Oh, here's a $3 cover," and we pay the cover, and we go in, and there's 0 other people. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not cool.
That's and I guess that we made $12 off that cover, but we didn't buy any drinks. We were pissed,
yeah,
which also would have been $12 or more.
right.
I kind of want to go to Cowfish. It's been
I
too
do
long.
too, I miss it.
Because they have the pool room, which
Plug
most
your nose.
people don't use. Oh, because it smells in there?
It smells in
Were
there.
you there when they had the fog machine? There was that lady in the wheelchair. Were you there with me that time?
No.
That
It was
sounds
like
funner than I've ever had.
it was like a scene from Silent Hill because she only had one leg and she was just like
She's like floating.
no, she was using her one actual leg to like pull herself across the dance floor.
Oh
There was
my-
only like 2 other people on the dance floor,
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
just seeing this woman
See,
pulling herself across the dance floor through this fog machine, and I'm like, we need to get out of here.
no,
This is so
that's why
terrifying.
I missed the times we did go to Cowfish because it was always interesting.
And that
the characters.
blind woman who would sell flowers, and she
Oh,
was
yeah.
just in there, and it's like, why are you here right now?
No,
You need
the
to
lady.
get
Oh
out.
my God, that's
have you
the-
met the lady who sells
No.
roses bar to bar?
No, because every time I've been in Cowfish, it's been empty.
No, this is all the
Oh,
bars.
the bars-
And
no, I've never had someone.
She's
I've
been at
never met
Burrito Boy
Eris.
on the Burrito Boy campus Burrito Boy too. I've seen her there
Yeah.
also.
Or Eris, if you want to.
Yeah.
Call it.
and she's just trying to make a living, but at the same time, it's kind of awkward.
Sure.
She'll just walk up to you, not say anything, but hold the flowers and look at you, and it kind of expect you to,
Yeah.
to
But,
buy.
okay, so she's blind, but she's just like stares at you.
No, she has like multiple bouquets of red roses, and so she tries to sell them to
Oh,
you.
nice. 'Cause
Like,
there's
a
couples
rose
at
or whatever.
bars.
Oh, you know what? You know what I do when I meet a beggar in Eugene is I tell them I don't carry cash. I always do. I always have, and I always will. And that's it. Honestly, it's the reason I don't carry cash. And sometimes I'll tell them if they're kind of needy. I'll be like, no, I don't carry cash because of you people.
Oh my god.
I'll group them.
Well, you've
Shall
had
we-
better. You've had better luck than me because usually
Yeah.
they ask me for a cigarette, and I've never smoked in my life. But for some reason, they don't believe me, and they go, "Yes, you do." And no, I don't.
I love it.
Actually, I
It's
don't
'cause-
have any.
I think it's because when you wear like a flowered I don't know what you call it, underdress, and then
just
you-
a dress. I
and you have the
think.
thick rimmed glasses. They just assume you're a cool.
You're an art student
You're
that
gotta be
smokes.
cool.
You're
Cool
cool.
artist,
You
yeah.
got the hookup.
Hey, really quick on that lady who is like partially blind and
Yeah.
sells the flowers. One time we were in Cowfish
Give it to me.
and she was wandering in the room and Cass
Yeah.
said, "Don't move."
I was gonna see it.
Her eyesight, or it was her
She won't see you if you don't.
she could
Oh,
only
no.
see her eyesight is based on movement, and so Cass went up against the wall, pressed herself against the wall, and didn't move, and the lady walked right past her.
I love it, Daniel.
I feel
is
really
there-
terrible for doing that, but
You were, but it was
Is there
amazing.
a second
I got
piece
out of it.
news?
The last bit of
Because
news.
we've been on the Wayward Lamb thing for a while. Is
Yeah,
that the thing you
true.
thought I'd
I
rant
told you.
about? 'Cause
Yep, I
ranted?
did. Yeah.
I'm
did it,
upset.
he did it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird that they would close.
I think we're not done on that yet. I feel like Eugene needs to have a downtown all-inclusive LGBT
I was gonna
bar,
say-
and that was the last one.
yeah.
I was gonna say we need a designated gay bar, but then I thought, is that segregation?
Not necessarily. I wish we had that.
Because as a straight
I'm-
person, I want to go to their bars.
Yeah,
I
know.
want to appropriate that culture.
You know
Oh my
what? The
God.
Cowfish is
You
just
can-
gonna have Cowfish
can-
is gonna have to gay it up.
You can try.
That's
You
the
can
deal.
drive up to Portland and go
I-
to Silverado, get some
I was-
dicks in your
I was
face.
gonna say, I'd rather go to gay pub.
The only other first gay bar I went to, really quick, CC Slaughter's in Portland.
You've been there?
I went there and I was like, I think a sophomore in college. No, I was 21.
Oh,
I
I'm
was
so
20
jealous. I've wanted to go there.
I
a
was
long
21,
time.
so I was like a junior or senior in college, and we went there, and I was kind of like, "Why do we gotta go to gay bar? We're not gay." And they're like, "No, let's go." And I was like, I went there, I'm like, "Oh, this is just a normal bar." I don't know why I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And now, like when people say like go to a gay bar, I'm like, "Sure," but I just haven't made it to the Wayward Lamb yet.
Yeah.
Well, you only have a little bit of time.
I know it's gonna be crazy though.
Yeah.
Well,
it'll
okay,
probably
we'll
be
skip it.
packed.
No, this episode's probably dropping Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
It's closing that
And then
Saturday or
everyone's
Sunday.
gonna go because everyone listens to it.
Well, Daniel.
Yeah.
Go on a Wednesday night. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
That's the one.
Maybe we will.
That's
Maybe
the
we
only
can go
Wednesday.
Thursday after we do
Hey,
bingo.
if I'm not podcasting tomorrow or Thursday, I'll join you guys possibly.
You're gonna go to bingo?
We're gonna
I meant the. I meant.
Oh,
I meant
okay,
Wayward
we'll go to
Lamb.
the gay
What
bar.
time is
We'll all
bingo?
9:00 p.m.
screw bingo.
Oh, Jesus
I'm going to a
Christ,
gay
that's
bar.
late. That's
get-
so late.
I'm gonna get some
I-
dicks in my face.
I am planning. No one who listens to this podcast cares. I am planning on giving a workshop. Excuse me.
was gonna
At
say
the Eugene
blowjob.
Instrument Library. And a
I'm
blowjob.
working on my oral skills.
I'm working my oral skills at the Eugene Instrument Library on Thursday, unless I have to record a podcast. So I may be busy, but after 9 for sure I'll be
Yeah,
free.
yeah. Well, I'll. I don't have your phone number, but Daniel does.
Yeah, are we friends on Facebook yet, or do
Yeah,
you
we
hate
are.
me?
No,
okay, we're friends. Okay,
We're
cool.
friends on there.
Cool.
All right, the last bit of news isn't even really news. I often scour. You know, I'm a scourer.
Oh, sure. No, I get it. You find this Mezzaluna description that's bullshit.
I mine the Eugene subreddit
Salad bar.
for
I
information.
know.
I've
Of all
been-
the places.
I've been to all 3 locations. There are no salad bars at Mezzalunas.
Anyway, on the Eugene subreddit, someone mentioned they went to a new restaurant that's in the 5th Street public market where that big food court. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And it's called Winner Winner, and they serve chicken dinner.
Wow.
And I don't know.
That's a lot to go on.
Could be good, couldn't, but it's news.
Could be good. Could be good. Couldn't.
Couldn't be.
Daniel, are we gonna have enough time to cover this?
No, that
be
was a
good.
different segment. We are gonna have to save that for next time.
Okay.
Why?
Well, the good news is next time's next week. What did we promise? We promised to
Kyle.
read for possibly Kyle.
He's not gonna come.
No,
He's not going to come. He won't come. I won't come. No one's going to come next week. We are going to do an hour, and you're going to hear it 2 weeks from now. We're going to do an hour to an hour and a half of reading the personals on
Oh,
Eugene
wow, you
Craigslist.
remembered.
Not only the missed connections, but all of the other personals, because I don't know how much misconnections material there will be.
Are we gonna read yours?
My post in the music one, yeah, I pretty much told you what it says in it, but we can read it.
Do a dramatic reading of it.
You may.
Okay.
You may.
Great.
I'm going to.
I'm good at doing dramatic readings.
Can we dramatically read everything?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
like
I've
that.
been wanting to get into more of a fiction thing, and this is kind of scripted. We'll just
Okay.
no commentary.
I'm down for
no
it.
commentary. We just dramatically read personals for an hour and a half.
That could legitimately be its own podcast.
That'd be
is
fucking
Eugene
hilarious.
You
Misconnections or
could
something?
read Victor Baldance's posts.
We
I
could.
would love to. I
I'm
would
so
love to read
timid
this.
as you say that.
Huh? What's that?
Are we going into the social media, Dan, or do you have one more thing?
Social media. Oh, no, that's it. So let's.
Okay, well,
Plug
look
it up.
for me in the future at the Eugene Instrument Library. Look for that on Facebook. The address is there. It's like 792 West 11th by appointment, but there's a lot of workshops. There's a suggested donation. I didn't know until I got there, so bring cash, even though it's Eugene, bring cash.
What does that mean?
Because of I just said the beggars.
Oh, right. Even though it's Eugene. Hide it. Hide it
Yeah.
somewhere safe.
Put it in your butt, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you want to
Gather
contact
your bitcoins.
me, I have simplified Lars in the Studio. SoundCloud.com/Lars in the Studio. LarsInTheStudio@gmail.com. I'm on YouTube, Lars in the Studio. I do vlogs. They're excellent. Highly recommend. It's called Drinking with Lars. Of course, I've always been Lars in the Studio on Instagram, which is where you will find out about new posts, as well as whatupeugene.tumblr.com. Daniel.
As you know, Drink and Draw every Monday at 9 p.m. at Cornucopia on 5th and Pearl.
too late.
Wasn't there this Monday? I'll be there next Monday, guys.
Will you?
That's like February 2nd or 3rd, I think.
too
But he
late.
won't be
It's
there
late-
the
late at
following
night.
Monday because he'll be in Florida.
That's right.
You're in Florida?
Yeah,
What are
stalk
you doing
him.
in Florida?
Please, stalk him.
Is that
Find
right?
him, hunt him down. That's what you said. You
No,
told me.
I think I'll still be here.
Oh, I don't know when. You just told me you couldn't post an
Why are
episode
you
because
going
you were
to
in Florida.
Florida?
I don't want to talk
Are
about
you
it.
going to wrestle a alligator?
It's
A bear?
it's a family reunion.
Are
Why
they
are
all
we
ginger?
talking about that?
But the rest of the time, I'm gonna be arms behind my head, laying on the beach, saying, "I could get used to this."
You're going to wear your dad's shorts. Your dad on vacation.
If you want to see some sweet, hot shots of that, at Dan Koss on Instagram. That's KOSS. You do it again, Dan Koss on Instagram.
Click follow.
Click
transition.
follow. Now,
Feet in the sand.
if you want to message us, obviously you can comment on SoundCloud. You can message my Instagram or Dan's Instagram personally, or comment on the post the episode goes on. You can also email us, momentsAgostudios@gmail.com. Of course, I said I'm LarsInTheStudio@gmail.com. There's a lot of ways. Any way you message us, we will respond on air and call you out for your bullshit if it is bullshit, and if not, Gucci. Message us on Tumblr. I said whatupeugene.tumblr.com already.
That's right. And as you may know, KLCC Brewfest is coming up February 9th and 10th. We said
Can't
it earlier.
wait.
Cassidy's paid for me to get in. That's
I'm
on
paying
the record.
for him.
It's
It's
recorded.
on the record,
Guys,
and I'm going to do it.
It seems like a steep fee, but it's a really good
It's
time.
not.
And in
It's so-
fact,
it's such a good
everyone
deal.
around you overbuys their tickets and gets drunk, and we'll just come out and be like, "Hey, you want my tickets?"
All those grandmas
is
and
what-
grandpas
that's what I
that can't
want.
hold their liquor
Oh.
and or beer and or cider
I'm
will
excited.
go, you know what, young man, young woman, I want you to have my tickets because I know you're young and you're going to have a good time.
this
And I
question-
remember how that feels, and I'll give this to you as a gift.
How-
And I'm going to go home on my PT Cruiser and throw up in my toilet.
Ew. Oh my
And that's how that works.
Ew. PT Cruiser. That's fucking gross.
That's how that works.
How does this event start at 8 a.m.?
No.
I would love to do a day of drinking.
I think it's like 11 to 9 or something.
it's
Oh,
great.
okay.
It's
No,
great.
11's pretty early.
But for all those listeners out there, and I know there's a lot,
And there are over
if
one.
you want to meet us all in person, we'll all be there.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
can give you a high five. I could.
if you wanted to write hate mail, but you thought punching us would be better, Dan and myself will bring our glasses. Would you punch a guy with
I'm
glasses?
just gonna
Find
say
out.
I'm
I'm
no
not a
good at
part of the punching plan. I
No,
don't
don't.
want to
No,
be punched.
you're not supposed to hit women.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
Last-
either way, I
Last
don't
year,
wanna be
our
punched.
tickets were free because we walked up, and this couple who was leaving was like, "Hey, we have extra tickets. You guys want ours?" So we got in free last year, and we're getting free this year because I'm helping out with the KLCC Instagram that they just started.
And because
Very
Cassidy's
nice.
paying for me, so
Yep.
And Cassidy's
what
paying
if
for you?
Eugene free? That's we're being sponsored.
Yeah, and it's KLCC 89.7. Don't trust the other fake KLCCs run by people in the Middle East. It's true. There's 2 fake accounts, and we don't know
Nice.
why.
Well, hey, if you're looking for
That's
Spaceman
hilarious.
Spliff, who played the break music, you can find him on SoundCloud. There's a lot of fake ones. Some people do it in all caps. Some people do it in all lowercase. His is the one where Spaceman and Spliff are both capitalized, and then the rest of the word is lowercase. You'll know the difference because his music is good. Speaking of Spaceman Spliff, listen to A Part of the Art. It's the other podcast I do. It's excellent. I feel like there's always more
Sound
I want to
biased.
say. It's really good.
No, it's a good one.
Have you listened?
I
It's
have.
great.
How do you smoke a spliff in space?
Well, you know Spaceman Spiff from Calvin and Hobbes?
Nope.
Oh, well, it's a clever
Lars,
wordplay
I'm
that
telling
a lot
you-
of people thought of.
I'm telling you, he took it from Deontford.
There's a lot of people.
That
There's
sounds right.
There's like
that sounds more
There's
right.
like 30 people who go by Spaceman Spliff.
There's specifically a lyric where they go, "Nothing's quite like a spaceman spliff."
That sounds right.
I
He's
don't
a
think
rapper. He's a rapper.
I don't think he took it from Dantwood. I think
He's got a lot of
liked
tattoos. He's got a lot
Calvin
of
and
credit.
Hobbes, and Spiff and Spliff are so similar that I think a lot of people thought of it.
Wouldn't
I'm not
it be
saying he
crazy?
stole it. I'm just saying he was inspired.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the dude from Diantword had a Calvin and Hobbes tattoo?
I mean, I assume
But
he.
like the two worlds collide.
Well, I assume he
Could be.
also he didn't just think of Spaceman Spliff. He also took it from Calvin and Hobbes, right?
Is he a Calvin and Hobbes fan?
You have to be, right? You can't
I don't know
think
them.
of Spaceman Spliff. You obviously took it from Spaceman Spliff. Everyone did. That's okay.
Cass, do you have anything you want to plug
Yeah,
before we
what's
go?
your
out?
social media?
I have a Facebook. I have a Tumblr. I have an Instagram.
Mad respect.
I have a Twitter, but that I don't use.
I like-
have a SoundCloud.
I like that you're not
have-
sharing any of them.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I have all those accounts.
I'm there. You find me.
Right. You find me, and then I'll tell you if it's right. And it's me, and I'm from that podcast you listen to. Let's see. What else do I have? I have I have
can
a
hear-
Stitcher account,
Oh, nice. Oh,
but I don't make podcasts. I just listen to them.
that was the thing I was going to mention. This show and A Part of the Art in Stitcher, in Google Play, in iTunes.
That's right.
We're hosted on Spreaker, so if you use that for your
What the hell's
podcast,
Spreaker?
I know that's
it's
what I say. And
way no. I tell you what, it's way cheaper than SoundCloud for hosting
sounds made up.
podcasts.
Sounds
Some
made
people
up.
no, some people use it. If you're on Spreaker, that's where we are. If you're on SoundCloud, we're still there. Do you know Spotify?
Jesus Christ.
No. You can't just submit your podcast to Spotify. You they you have to be like
Is it like Apple?
They have
Music where
standards?
You have to
no,
apply?
because I applied for Apple and Google Play. Like you can't just submit it. They come out and they reach out to you. So it's like they picked really famous ones like Comedy Bang Bang, but
Right.
most podcasts can't get into Spotify.
Well, I guess you'll just have to get famous.
I guess they'll listen in iTunes and Google Play. God damn it.
We'll catch you guys next time on.
What
Comedy
up,
Bang Bang.
Eugene?
Oh shit! I got it wrong. That's my bad,
Did
guys.
you forget what podcast we were recording?
I said a better podcast.
Oh no.
Comedy Bang Bang?
I did, yeah.
Shut that off. Shut it
Shut
off.
it
Shut it
off.
off. Oh
hit,
no.
Hit that play button.
Shut her down.
Are we in an
Play that
elevator?
hit button.
Studios.